The Doncaster Dome, it's fight night in South Yorkshire and the return of Cage Steel as we close out 2022. Tonight, both regional and international talent descend upon the cage for an evening of not only MMA, but also boxing and K1 rules kickboxing. You're watching Cage Steel 30, and this is the prelim show. Proudly sponsored by RCD Electrical, the UK's leading electrical contractor. Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to the show. Chris Huxtable alongside Dean Midhat and the Cage Steel boss, Dominic Gibbs. Great to have your company here. We're coming to you free on YouTube and on Facebook. 3 great fights on the prelims to come. That's in the future. Dom, I want to go straight to you. Listen, a lot of hard work this week. The big old hustle of getting the cage here. It's all happening now, man.
Yeah, this is it. This is Cage Steel 30 is happening. It seems like we've been like smashing everything for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then all of a sudden the massive build-up, and I'm excited.
A sigh of relief?
Not yet.
All right, let's talk about the future. You know, a lot of tonight's plans closing out 2022 do feed into what is happening next for Cage Steel. Give us an insight.
Yeah, we've got some massive goals that we want to do. We've got our kind of event side, and we've got our charity side. We want to help thousands of kids, thousands of people in the communities with our charity side, and we want to put on great shows. And we've got some amazing things planned for next year. It's like bringing you guys in. You know, we want to like improve the show, so we're going to push it on.
All right, speaking of the man himself, Dean Midhat, how you doing?
Oh man, I've been wanting to get on this show for so long. You said you wanted us, but I wanted to be here. Cage Steel is the one in the north, and that's the talk from all the town, all the fighters, and everyone around.
All right, now a lot of fighters on the prelims and on the undercard are debuting tonight. We've got boxing, we've got kickboxing, we've got MMA. Some of them looking for the first or second win. Some of them actually lost their debut and are looking for their first win. Take me into the mind. They're all warming up backstage. We saw them earlier. What's going through their head?
Yeah, the journey to get here is just not physical, psychological as well. And you've got to take into account the training, the sacrifices they make, and the psychological activation to come in and perform under these big lights in front of everyone watching. There's a lot of preparation that goes into this point here. This is the finished product.
So what's going to be the difference?
The difference is experience. The lower levels now, there's a lot more competitions into clubs, there's a lot more lower level jiu-jitsu competitions and MMA competitions with different rule set. So they can get the experience now, so when they come under the big lights, it's not as crazy.
All right, now, plenty of free action. Again, if you're following us on Facebook and YouTube, join in the conversation. We're on TikTok, Instagram. Let us know what you think. Hashtag CageSteel30. Now, in the future, on the pay-per-view, joymo.tv, you can follow that one to get the buy. We've got some amazing talent.
Sure.
Dom, I want to talk about this one. Charlie Lynch Spence is coming back. He's taking on Aaron Kevinson. A lot of talk about Charlie Lynch Spence. He seems to be the future of UK MMA. How do you see him as a promoter?
I spoke to Charlie and his dad yesterday, and his dad had said something about shutting the haters up, and I'm like, I honestly haven't heard any haters. Everyone I speak to about Charlie Lynch Spence, everyone is buzzing about this kid. Everyone is like, this kid is the future. And that term's been used so many times. And this kid's such a quiet kid. It's very difficult to get him involved in like the marketing side of things. We've got to get him out of his shell a little bit. We want to introduce him to the fans. The fans want to know who this kid is, because he is smashing it, and he's going up those rankings. And you know, he's got a great record now, so we've got to show him to the world. He'll show his skill tonight. He is a class act.
Now, on the pay-per-view, he will be taking on Aaron Kevinson. We know about Kevinson's story. 8 months in Thailand. He talked about walking away after a loss earlier in MMA this year. That focus. You've been to Thailand. You know there's no easy days in the office there.
Yeah, and it's reinvention. Often coming off a loss, you want to go and improve yourself. And like you say, the training in Thailand is second to none. They call him Mr. Flash for a reason. He's looking to use his strength and conditioning and his speed in this fight to see if he can implement that.
All right, one to look forward to. Absolutely, the uber prospect, Charlie Lynch Spence, taking a very tough and determined Aaron Kevinson. Jack Toy.
Jack Toy, I'm intrigued to see this guy. He was supposed to fight somebody else, a local guy. And all the hype was about this Jack Toy coming in, being more experienced than it was Brandon Jackson he was going to fight. And we saw like so much of him as we were doing the promo stuff. And now I'm like, this kid looks good. Like when I go to these gyms, I tend to look as a coach would, like, where are the flaws? Where would I be telling my fighter to kind of, his left hand drops when he throws a 1, 2, 3, you know, and all this. And I was like, this kid's tight. You know, there's not a lot of holes in this kid's game. So I'm going to see what holes there are when he gets under the big lights, as you say.
All right, Jack is going to be fighting in boxing tonight. Again, we've got 3 sports on display here tonight at Cage Steel. And he's facing a familiar foe, Torrin Carey. There was a draw last time these two went at it. How do you see the strategy playing out?
Yeah, he likes
wants to go somewhere, and people that have obsession are hard to beat. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Sergio here, because I've reliable sources said to me when we was looking at his fight, because obviously he came in 9 days notice, and a very reliable source said to me, Dormy's crazy, like, and they don't know what he's going to do. So I'm like, okay, this sounds like a good matchup.
Sergio Jesus, a bit of a wild card, 17-fight veteran.
and he's got nothing to lose. When you come into the cage an underdog, you can throw it to the wind, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. You know, he's got nothing to lose. He's going to leave it all out there and go for the win.
Now, one of the things is we spoke to Oscar, and he said, I don't know what this guy's going to do. We spoke to Sergio, and you know what he said? Boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. I don't know if he knows what he's going to do.
It's going to be an interesting fight to see who pulls the trigger first. And I think it's going to come down to who initiates first and who lands that killer blow.
Does it go the distance?
No.
Does it go the distance?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so either. We'll call that unanimous. All right, plenty of great action here coming up on the pay-per-view. It's at joymo.tv. Again, D. Midhat, Chris Hoekstra, Dominic Gibbs. We'll be with you guys all night long, giving you further updates. Join in the conversation. Let us know what you think. We're going on Facebook and YouTube around the world for free for the first 3 fights here tonight. Of course, check in with us on Instagram and TikTok. Let us know your thoughts. Hashtag Cage Steel. Once again, the pay-per-view is on Joymo, JOYMO.tv. For now, we'd love to thank our sponsor, RVK Electrical, for sponsoring this prelim show. We're about ready to get things underway, and momentarily we'll throw it up to the cage to our master of ceremonies, Mr. Gary Patterson. Tail of the tape for this one brought to you by Fight Scout. Amateur super welterweight at 79 keys, even in age, 24 plays 24, even in height nearly. It's an international Reykjavik MMA against Carlson Gracie Hull. Horman in the red, Idder in the blue.
And Horman from the Carlson Gracie camp here, he's looking to take this one down to the ground. I like the way he's firing those knees up though to try and get the hips in for the takedown.
Looking for the outside trip on the pummel. Good response here from Idder.
Horman's going to pummel these underhooks here up against the cage.
Knees to the inside from Horman.
Yeah,
Andrew Nichols not happy.
He definitely went low there, Chris.
And potentially up to 5 minutes to recover here. Referee's called time. Horman to the neutral corner, no coaching. Not exactly a great way to start off the fight, Harry.
Not ideal. He's obviously come out real pumped, ready, excited, and yeah, that's all of it just taken away there. And obviously all the fans as well. Everybody's super pumped to get everything ready, and then now calm back down again. Get ready for the next round.
So the moments of anticipation for Horman, perhaps, getting the best of him. Idder looks okay. Andrew Nichols happy for the action to resume.
Horman's going to have to make sure that he targets those knees. Oh, spinning back fist to the chin from Idder. Leg kick from Horman. Again, he's looking to control for the takedown, but he can't reach out like that, Chris.
Stiff jab there from Idder. Horman going for the takedown, gets the trip, passes into side control.
Got to get that left underhook, though, to make sure he maintains this top position. If Idder can fire that right arm up, he can potentially take the back or get back to his feet.
Horman controlling with the whizzer. Idder using the fence to get back up. We talked about the potential for a grappling fight from the Carlson Gracie fighter. Dean, no surprises.
They're looking for the single leg here. Could switch to the double. Bump the hips away. He's got to drive the shoulder forward and drag the legs away from that cage to obtain this takedown. There we go. Beautiful work.
He gets the double leg. Straight behind, locking the hands together. Idder looking to counter with a guillotine, shuffling back to the fence.
For Idder to finish this, he's got to have control over the body. Also, the cage as well nullifies his ability to hyperextend and put on that guillotine choke. So you could advise Idder here to try and get back to his feet. Plant one hand down, Chris, get those legs underneath him, and cage walk up.
Horman punching. Idder getting out the back door. Returning the favor, hitting side control. Interesting exchange of positions, hitting full mount.
Going to see Horman's ability to escape from the mount here. He's got to trap one arm and one leg on the same side, then buck towards that side to sweep over his opponent. He could also utilize hip escapes here to chase the half guard.
Good tie up here from Horman, trying to control the posturing. Idder creating space, looking for punches. An incredible reversal of fortunes. It looked to me like Horman was the dominant guy on the ground. It all changed in an instant.
Position for Idder is the key here, the ability to fire those strikes down. Horman is controlling the posture somewhat here, but he's got to start thinking about escaping from this position, chasing the half guard or looking for the sweep. Idder's doing a great job of manipulating this top position. He's following the hips of his opponent. Every time Horman tries to gain an angle, he recorrects that angle so he sits on top of him.
Horman thought about kipping, but starts turning away. In come the punches from Idder. Wow. Unbelievable. Well, Harry, we talked about the game plans. It looked to me like Horman was going to press the ground game. It looked to be, well, the poison in the end.
Yeah, I was massively shocked. It seemed when you got space, it was Idder throwing the spinning backhand and that heel to the head. And he looked like, right, we've obviously seen that the way we need to succeed with Horman is to close the distance, get rid of that attack. But then we did, like you say, that seemed to be equally as bad. He got the dominant position against the fence, brought him to the ground. But then the Reykjavik MMA fighter, it wasn't just lightning on his feet, he was also a skill practitioner on ground. He managed to maintain that top position, he controlled his weight, and, well, it looks quite dangerous in both on feet and on his back. Well, sorry, on the ground. He was an outstanding guy.
Now, if you're in the corner of Idder, what are you telling him?
Just relax, he's doing a fantastic job. He's obviously, it looked like he had a strike advantage with the minimal bits that we saw. He looked quite loose, which is surprising after he got that low blow. But yeah, more of the same. He seems to be doing well. I'd probably try and stand again.
Dean, if you're talking to Idder, what do you got to say?
Oh, man, the confidence has got to be huge here. But if he goes to the ground, he's got to try and get that top position.
All right, 2 of a scheduled 3. Blue corner for Josh Horman. Excuse me, blue corner for, excuse me, for Idder, and red corner for Horman. How could I have messed that up this early in the fight night?
Horman's going to set up these takedown attempts with his punches, though. He can't reach out and look for the legs. You know, also, Idder knows that Horman wants to take this one down to the ground, so this opens up his ability to strike. Sprawling ball tactics here from Idder as he moves out on the outside.
Nice connection there. Stiff jab from Idder. Idder potentially going for the neck. caught here in half. Horman on the bottom.
Sorry, Chris, the key again for Idder is this underhook. So the right underhook to maintain this top position here. He's got to maintain control over the head and the underhook of his opponent to keep his back flat on that mat.
Potentially looking to crossface with the old shoulder of justice is Idder. Horman holding on, but it's not exactly the opening of the round that Horman would have liked him.
No, and again, he's holding on here, so it seems to me he's trying to force a stand-up. He understands this bottom position didn't do too good for him in the first round. But as of yet, again, full mount here for Idder. Idder needs to rise up here, Chris, now, and land some ground and pound.
Well, a mirror image of round one, as Helgi Idder has secured the position that arguably won him the last round. Harry, you got this 10-9 in his favor so far?
Yeah, 100% is just dominant from start to finish so far. I don't think this is going to last very long as we've got.
And in come the punches right on cue from Helgi Idder, looking to go 2-0, and he does it! An unbelievable second round TKO. Reykjavik MMA, one to the good so far tonight.
And an immediate show of respective sportsmanship there. Great top positioning from Idder. Horman unable to escape, but I love the way that Idder switched on those punches and chased for that finish.
And that was it, Dean. That was absolutely it. Harry, is surprising that it came from a mirror image of round one. I mean, he didn't quite have enough time, it felt like, in round one.
Yeah, everything that he did, he controlled his weight well on the ground, and he just progressed well until he got the mount. He progressed beautifully. He didn't give any risks by going for anything crazy. He just smothered him and then just started landing those punches when he got the opportunity. They were all well played. It was textbook.
Yeah, there you have it. The win in round two for this fight brought to you by a Fight Scout. Thanks again. You're watching the free prelims here. Cage Steel going around the world on Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to let us know your thoughts on the performance. Horman unsuccessful in his debut here tonight. Idder going 2-0. And Gary Patterson has the scorecards in. Of course, not needed. It'll be a TKO for Team Iceland.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute and 41 seconds of round number 2, your winner by way of TKO, ground and pound, in the blue corner, Helgi Idder!
Sweet.
And to correct the figures, Jake Watkins is in the blue corner. Danny Huxtable is in the red corner. Watkins with the edge in fight experience. Huxtable making his debut in kickboxing. Dean, how do you see this one playing out? Probably not very long.
Yeah, I mean, Watkins does have an awkward style. He twitches the hip as well for the fakes and feigns. He likes to use the leg kicks to set up punches, but you've got to make sure about not going too close to south of the border with that one.
Low exchange here. Roundhouse kick for roundhouse kick. Orthodox plays orthodox.
Watkins looking for the head kick here. Looking like he's going to twitch that rear. Maybe looking for the spinning attack. Eee, there it is, straight to the midsection.
Watkins doing that right on cue. Huxtable looking to punish with the right roundhouse kick nice and low.
It's a smart play, though, from Watkins to utilize the footwork to get away from those power hands. Oh, beautiful knee from Huxtable.
Watkins goes high. Huxtable backs off. Forward pressure here from Huxtable. Feinting with the hands and kicking low. Harry, what you expected so far in this fight?
His awkward style. He'll throw those big shots rather than trying to work them out. And it looks as if, well, Danny Huxtable, if he wants to win, I think he needs to use his brain, and he used to be.
Oh! You talked about finding the fight IQ, a huge right hand, and Watkins is on the deck.
And that was the power of Danny Huxtable, ladies and gentlemen. But Watkins is back to his feet, and the crowd applaud. But Huxtable now is going to hunt for that chin, Chris.
Wow, getting the count, just surviving. Harry, you called it. He was looking for the money shot. He found it. Huxtable going up 10-8. Let's see what happens next.
Huxtable did a good job of firing the leg kicks here to open up the strikes. Barrage of punches here now. Right hand lands on the chin.
Good flurry from Huxtable. A right roundhouse kick goes low.
Watkins is down and he immediately clasped that left leg. I don't imagine he's going to get back to his feet here, Chris.
That's it. You called it, D Midhat. That'll be the TKO in round 1. Danny Huxtable getting his first win in kickboxing. Jake Watkins absolutely floored with the right hand and then taken out with the leg kick. Clinical.
But it's clever as well, a variety of attacks. You know, he dropped him with the right hand. Watkins thought he was going to come in heavy with the hands, but he came in heavy with the legs and got the finish, Chris.
Harry, you predicted it needed to be a smart performance. It really came down to 2 strikes, 1 right hand, 1 right low kick.
Yeah, it was. The difference was that he used his shots to actually open up the opportunities to then fire the bigger shots. He used his hands and his feet to actually get the distance and, well, to open up those big shots. Whereas so Watkins, he'd just randomly go head kick or he'd go big hand. There were no real working it out. Whereas Danny Huxtable, as we mentioned previously, it was that fight IQ. He worked for it and he got the big shot.
Impressive, given it's his first foray into kickboxing?
Yes and no. Despite it being his first K1 fight, we've seen him a few times here in the cage. He's trained for a long time, and we see there just leaving Danny Mitchell, fought at UFC. He's trained at AVT for a long time. He's around a lot of experienced guys. So these techniques and things will be bread and butter for him.
Gary Patterson.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 2 minutes and 20 seconds of round number 1, your winner by TKO. In the ring corner, Danny Huxtable.
Arnarson and Manoussaridis. There's the tail of the tape. 34 taking on 38. Height advantage for Arnarson. Dimitri Manoussaridis representing Carlson Gracie Hull, and Reykjavik MMA for Haraldur. All right, both guys have promised a vicious performance here tonight and see each other as just another stepping stone. Who's going to win? We're about to find out.
Center cage here for Dimitri, already commanding the pace. Not biting into the tie hops here, though. Looking to establish the jab. I like the level change as well from Dimitri. There's the right hand, connects.
Manoussaridis showing some different angles here, potentially the level change. Arnarson, good head movement off the center line. Pulling the low kick, stepping up, switching to the inside. Good response here from Manoussaridis.
And also has got to be careful about dropping these hands, in particular that right hand here. If we can see Dimitri trying to start to time that lead switch kick, that left leg, he can have some success there.
Open stance. Inside low kick for Arnarson. Nice stance swapping so far for the Icelandic fighter.
Nelson using some fakes and feints here now. He's got to throw punches and bunches here. Nice circling movement. I like the leg kicks as well to take away the spring out of the step from Dimitri. Dimitri's looking for this right hand. He'll pull the hands, he'll draw his opponent onto him and fire that straight round down the pipe.
Manoussaridis backing off. Arnarson controlling things thus far, but some good low kicks in response. It's a close fight. Harry, you talked about it. You mentioned this is going to be equal one, and so far, one of the best of the undercard this evening.
Yeah, definitely. These guys are they're very equally matched on feet. It is just a matter of timing. You can see both these guys very powerful. This could just be a quick change, flick of the coin. Somebody lands a big shot like that. As we see Dimitri with the big right hand. He's trying to time that right hand. If one of those lands, it's going to be a game changer.
Arnarson with the popping jab straight between the guard. Manoussaridis maybe with a little bit of a lack of head movement thus far.
I think whoever gets tagged first is going to look to try and take this one down to the ground. But it's wise to even fake the takedown, to draw the hands down the opponent and kind of throw more of a distraction as well, which in turn sets up the hands. So I like to see more level changes and at least initiations of the takedown.
And a good exchange, nice response from Manoussaridis. That right roundhouse kick has landed a couple of times. It seems that Arnarson is a little bit heavy on that lead leg, occasionally Dean stepping in. But Arnarson responding with the right roundhouse low of his own. Fast combination going 2-3. Arnarson, fourth appearance here in MMA, looking for his second win. Dimitri Manoussaridis making his debut, a left hook to a 2. 2-punch combination so far for Haraldur Arnarson.
This This is where Manoussaridis has to start thinking about the level changes here to set up the hands. He's looking for the right hand and left hook combination, but if he drops down and shows the takedown, it's going to start to deter Arnarson from covering up so well.
So a little bit of a glorified kickboxing bout so far. Nobody really going to that takedown. Dean, how do you see it? Close round, no?
Very, very close between the two. I mean, the leg kicks here were the deciding factor that we saw Dimitri hammer those leg kicks in and a very clean right hand.
You got Dimitri up?
I would say Dimitri, yeah.
I got Arnarson up. How about you?
I would say Arnarson. I think he seemed to get more of a flow. He got his rhythm towards the end. Started landing a few more shots in concession. But again,
close.
If I were a betting man, I won't be betting. This is too close for me.
10-9 is the score?
Yeah, probably 10-9. But like I said, I think there's still all to play for. I would say the Reykjavik guys are fantastic on the ground. You never know. I want to see it go to the ground as much as I like this kickboxing match, just to see how we've got a difference. Because Carlson Gracie guys as well, the good guys.
Yeah, 100%. Well, a fight that we didn't see necessarily hitting the second round between Dimitri Manoussaridis and Haraldur Arnarson. Arnarson in the blue, Manoussaridis in the red. Quick talk from the corner. Dean, who do you think goes for the takedown first?
The key is going to be setting up the takedown. Even if you don't want it, just to show it. This is going to open up the striking game and create those little gaps to land that decisive shot. And it's got to come from both of these athletes. They've got to look to snatch a hold of a double leg, maybe utilize the cage, really sell the fact that they want to take the fight down to the ground, but then start to strike.
So you're looking for somebody to kind of take advantage of that opportunity.
To utilize the distraction of a takedown to set up the hands.
Or vice versa, the hands to set up the takedown.
Exactly.
All right, well, you heard from the corner here. We heard, obviously, from Harry and Dean. And lots of advice here for both fighters in what's been the closest fight thus far. On the road to the pay-per-view, check us out on jomo.tv. And let us know your comments on Facebook and YouTube for the prelim show. You can also check in with us on Instagram and TikTok, hashtag CageSteel30.
Nice clean work there from Arnarson. Finding a home for the jab, and he couples it up beautifully with that left hook to go around that guard of Dimitri.
Manoussaridis, again with the right roundhouse, is probably one of his best shots so far of the fight. Arnarson switching up. Fatigue potentially.
To be honest, it should be a tactic here on Dimitri's part to try and fatigue and make Arnarson miss, but at this point in time, Chris, he's connected.
Nice stiff jab lands for Arnarson. Dimitri chasing here. Disciplined guard so far from Dimitri Manoussaridis. Arnarson swapping stances. Arnarson on the back foot as Manoussaridis now chases.
That's Arnarson to keep up that footwork, to keep that elusive work up is going to take a massive toll on the gas tank. I can see Dimitri go to the body as well, invest in the body shots and show the takedown as of yet. And it's all right to strike, it's all right to test your skills, but you've got to use all the tools in the box.
Arnarson in and out right now. Nice elusive striking, but Manoussaridis looks really charged. He's looking for that home run. Popping jab there again from Arnarson. Nice right roundhouse kick.
Arnarson pressuring forward inside leg kick from Arnarson. Needs the right hand though for his trouble.
The pace slowing a little bit, Harry. Do you see, again, fatigue being a factor at all?
I think if Arnarson takes it to the third round and keeps moving as he is, I think that could definitely be an issue. He's starting to get a lot more fluid now. We saw with the switch jab, and he's, like I say, he's changing the angles, messing with the head, changing the head movements and things, and he's landing for it, but you can see him visually getting a bit more tired now. If this goes into the third round, I think that might be an issue.
Dean, your analysis?
Yeah, Arnarson already looking a little bit more laboured, and his style as well that you often see from those Icelandic fighters is that movement on the outside. Engage, disengage, and move out of dangerous way. But you can see as soon as Arnarson goes back to his corner from the camera shot, puts his hands on the top, trying to open the lungs up, he's now going to take the seat. And the contrast from Dimitri, he's chilled out, moved his own stool, he sat down. So I'll certainly allude to the fact here that Arnarson has taken some deep breaths, as you can see here from the camera, Chris.
You got Arnarson up in that round? Some good jabs, right? A couple of good punches. A couple of low
Commentator's
kicks.
curse, isn't it? You ask.
I'm going to ask you, though, and I'm going to talk, too. But I mean, this is what we got to do, right? We got to commentate these fights. I think Arnarson won with some good, solid connections that caused immediate impact ways high, right?
But what you got to
Immediate
think of as
impact.
well is there's 3 different vantage points from 3 different referees. Even though they're supposed to stick to the same sort of kind of judging criteria, they could have 3 different backgrounds. They could be grapplers, they could be strikers. So it's really hard to dictate what the judges are seeing. But what we're seeing, for me, what sticks out really is Dimitri's ability to control the pace. And Arsenal's on the outside, and although he's landing effectively, and he landed some nice leg kicks, man, I'd want to lean towards Dimitri.
He's up 2018 for Dimitri. How do you got that one?
No, Arnarson all day long. He landed more. His movement were better. I think he controlled the pace of the fight. But this is all down to this third and final. I think we've got a massive opportunity for Dimitri. If he takes him down, then this could be his fight.
There we go. It's a split decision so far on the commentary bench. You're watching Cage Steel 30. This is the free prelims. And a popping jab almost from Harry's lips to his ears coming from Arnarson.
Keep moving, keep moving.
So Arnarson's more animated now, though. He could potentially not know if this is going to go either way. So he's looking to try and make a stamp there. You can see he's trying to take center cage. He's being more active. He's trying to land more decisive shots.
So undoubtedly the corner work in between rounds 2 and 3. Advising both fighters it's close. So close we've got a split here on the comms bench as to who may be running away with this fight. I agree with you, though, in the first round there were some really heavy leg kicks from Dimitri, so again, immediate impact weighs the highest here over cumulative impact in the striking, because it was entirely striking in that first round. So it could very well be tied up, although I tend to agree with Harry on it being in favor of Arnarson thus far. So the action continues. Under 2 minutes in this fight.
Arnarson with some nice inside leg kicks. Working on the outside still, looking to touch up the face, uses the fake to set up the left hook. We saw a tie clinch being initiated from Dimitri, but as of yet, Harry, we've not even seen a level change.
No.
Stiff jab again from Arnarson. Arnarson windmilling with the right hand.
Dimitri just looks as if he's going to drop and go for the takedown at any point, but he's just not committed. But I think it's there all day as well.
Yeah, that's the thing, it's there, and if he sells it, he's going to bring the hands down and the focus away from Arnarson.
It seems all he wants to do is counter with that right hand. He would just counter with that right hand, and that seems to be it, a few low kicks. But all day long, he could just shoot and take that front leg.
And the corner for Dimitri is going absolutely bananas. Owen and Danny screaming at the top of their lungs for Dimitri Manoussaridis in this round to try and clinch the victory. Hard right low kick there from Dimitri Manoussaridis. And Arnarson backing off. Visibly fatigued. Encouragement there from Danny Mitchell with the right roundhouse kick, smashing home to the lead thigh.
Arnarson with the jab here. Dimitri's got to put the pace forward. There we go with the overhand right. That's beautiful. He's got to press forward. Danny Mitchell in the corner screaming for him to press. He's a double jab, triple jab from Arnarson.
Arnarson holding on, breathing heavily. But Manoussaridis has got not a lot left, it looks like. Under 30 seconds in what may be very well the fight of the night thus far. Heavy low kick there, again lands for Dimitri Manoussaridis.
You can see here Arnarson center cage, dictating the pace, firing punches, pushing Dimitri on the back foot. But Dimitri's really unable to land anything decisive. Nice left hook though from Dimitri.
And with the scores potentially on a knife edge here, the end of a full 3 rounds between Haraldur and Arnarson. Middleweight MMA action here, taking on Dimitri Manoussaridis. We go to the distance for the very first time tonight here.
And now, as we move to the judges' scorecards, we have scores of 29, 28, 30, 27, 30, 27, with your winner by unanimous decision in the blue corner, Haraldur Arnarson.
There's the tail of the tape. 31 plays 30, 174 plays 178. Team Parton taking on Fight Ministry. Kyle Parton and Joe Milburn. Milburn in the red, Parton in the blue. Super lightweight cage boxing at 72 kilograms is the weight class.
See if Milburn can utilize what he was working on the gym, throwing those long shots to set up the power.
Oh, nice connection there. It looked to me like Parton was covering, moving inside. Found that left that he talked about. He mentioned it as that was one of the shots he wanted to use.
Parton's great about slipping that. See that beautiful head work. He slips off to the side to load the shots, even off the rolls. And when he's defensive as well, he pulls out of range beautifully.
Milburn pushing forward. Again, eats another left, though, from Parton. That was one of the things that Parton promised to deliver. He's landed it twice in a row. Milburn popping the jab. I definitely feel like that jab is going to be an important factor in this fight.
The left hook's coming through here from Parton. It's a matter of time before we can start to set that up and land with power. That's why we've got to see Milburn keep his distance. Here, there's that left hook to the chin. Nice jab, though. Parton did a brilliant job of establishing that jab. Looking for that left hook again. He's going to try and invest in the body here to set up the left hook, Chris.
Good head movement here from Parton, who's definitely had a few fights, he said, but not one too many. But so far, finding some good additional power from that left multiple times. Milburn on the outside, looking to punch with multiple combinations. It seems to be the smart thing, especially against a guy who's trying to peekaboo guard you and come in.
Parton with the cleaner boxing technique at range and close. He likes to utilize the uppercuts when he's close range, and he establishes that jab beautifully. But you notice that the left hook in turn is available for Milburn, as Parton often drops that right hand. Nice body work there from Milburn.
Harry, taking a look at this fight, it seems to me that Parton is just a little bit more comfortable in the pocket.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. Well, as we saw previously, he's got 5 and 5, so he's had 10 fights previously. He's dancing in the ring now, he's comfortable. You can see with his head movement and his movements, he's very comfortable and fluid. He's come with the game plan, and that left hook, he keeps weaving, going low, popping up with that left hook.
Yep.
He must have landed it 3-4 times. I think it's just a matter of time, if he carries on like that, he's going to get a kill shot with one of them.
Now, why has Joe Milburn been so aggressive and not used that jab? Because it seemed to me like that would be what I would be doing.
Me too. Hopefully he's the Fight Ministry corner now. We're going to speak to him and say, look, you need to start using that better. You need to stop getting hit with that left hook, and you need to start bringing it to him. Because at the minute, I think it's a bit of one-way traffic.
Dean, is it a case of footwork? I mean, they talk about the feet and the hands often working in unison.
I think it's first fight jitters for Milburn. You know, he's in there and he's throwing with power. He's biting down on the mouthpiece. It could put the adrenaline dump. But now he's had a bit of a consolidation with his thoughts, with his coach, to see if he can establish those long shots.
All right, Joe Milburn looking to reconfigure things. Kyle Parton dancing in between rounds 1 and 2, 2 of his scheduled 3.
Now he's more clean with the jabs. Some nice footwork there from Milburn. Heavy punches close range though from Parton. Nice head work. But be careful about ducking the head down.
Parton continuing to move on the outside. Good coverage, looking for the left hook. Milburn is definitely leading with that jab a little bit more, as you alluded to, Dean. He needs to use the reach advantage, really. It's the straight punches versus the looping shots.
That's how he's going to get there. The best way is straight down the pipe, but that right hand, he's kind of coming over the top, and it just takes a little bit longer to get there and gives Parton the ability to evade capture.
Popping jab again from Milburn, but eats a left of his own. And just leaning straight out of space and then coming back in. Parton just so much more comfortable. Harry, it's exactly what you said.
Yeah, he's very fluid. We saw him then even come on inside with like a shovel look, like an uppercut through inside around the left hook of his opponent. He just seems very nice. He's just fluid.
tricky thing when you're going and making your boxing debut against a guy who's been there 10 times before.
Oh, 100%. Credit to him for jumping in and fighting as he has. It's not as if it's an embarrassing performance and it's one-way traffic. He's come in and he's landing shots and he's certainly putting his own pressure on. I just think at the minute, his tactics just aren't really aligning with what he wants to happen.
So Milburn continuing to throw quite a few different looks and combinations, but struggling just a little bit with the head movement of Parton and, of course, those looping counter punches, Dean.
Some damage as well to the nose of Milburn. That's going to play a part in the breathing capabilities of him as well, to regain that oxygen depth. Nice clean shots here on the outside from Parton. Milburn doing a better job, though. When he gets hurt, he's utilizing the clinch to recover.
And Parton rolling with the punches there. A better round for Milburn.
Yeah, almost certainly, but he's still getting tagged. He's still getting hit. He's still getting outboxed, Chris.
Is it just a case of finding that distance that has been tricky?
I think it's just a kind of a bit of a gap in technicality, the boxing game, the sweet science, as it were. You know, there's the jabs, there's a lot of head work from Parton. Milburn's got the power and he's got the reach, but he's just unsure how to utilize that to 100% effectiveness.
Harry, you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I think it is that technical ability that's massively on Parton's side. You can tell with his movements just how he's just narrowly missing by inches. It is his footwork that's getting him out of that reach, and then he's just propelling himself forward. He's just so much more relaxed. You can see now, he looks like he's waiting for a bus. He doesn't look like he's just had 2 rounds.
And that is the familiarity factor, no?
Exactly, that's 10 fight experience for him.
All right, third and final round here. You're joining us. It's a super lightweight cage boxing fight, 72 kilograms. Hope you're enjoying Cage Steel 30 as much as we are. For Chris, Dean, and Harry, the action resumes.
Well, doing a better job here of utilizing head work. Nice rolls close range with the left hook on the chin. On the back foot is Milburn, looking for the concentration. Oh, he ducks the head. Got to be careful of the uppercut here.
Good coverage from Parton, walking forward. Punches landing to the shoulder. Nice dig to the body there from Milburn. That's the jab we wanted to see from Milburn. He's just got to keep popping that off, moving his head. You can't question the heart of either guy here. I mean, they've kept this pace up, and there's been no will to back down.
You see here, Parton storming forward with the hands down, looking for the uppercut close range. Milburn again clinches. But again, oh, nice overhand right there. But secures the 1-2 and a jab again. Milburn's
nice combinations there from Milburn. You talked about the basics, Dean. He's finally found them. 5 minutes of fighting into this one, and Milburn is really starting to find his mark. It's quick rounds. I mean, 2-minute rounds, there's not much in it, Dino.
Yeah, and he's been more technical here with the straight shots are the key for him. Also, I like to see him try and invest in the body to try and bring the hands down of Parton.
Parton, the pace is settled. Milburn breathing deep. But winning 1 round on my scorecard isn't going to be enough to win this fight. He needs a real dominant performance. He needs at least a knockdown. Parton screams and says, let's go. Milburn, beautiful, left to the right. Left again lands there for Milburn. Parton on the front foot. Parton just getting absolutely lit up here. It's a last-minute flurry here for Milburn, but will it be enough to win this fight?
9 seconds of the round here, toe-to-toe. Parton firing the punches. Milburn looking for the head work. Eats a heavy right hand, and again from Parton.
Wow. 3 rounds in the books between Milburn and Parton. Who would have thunk it, Harry?
It was another fantastic fight. Obviously, on paper, you'd see 10 fights to 0, and you say, yep. But that last round then, Parton got confident, he got cocky, putting his hands down. He got tagged with some big shots.
He only
takes a few of those, and then you're on your deck, and then it's obviously the fighter restarts itself. Credit to Milburn stepping in. First boxing fight. What an outstanding performance. He took some big shots. He kept his composure. Last round, very, very close. I bet if we look at the tail of the tape purely on that, we'd see quite an equal amount landed. Lots of good shots from both fighters.
I agree. No, I was going to say, like, it's kind of one of those things you wish it was more than 3 2-minute rounds, no?
Yes, I agree. I don't know if Parton would have behaved the same if it would have been 5-10 rounds. So I think it's the last round. He knew he was too up. He wanted to put a good performance out, and that's why he was more lackadaisical with his hands down and just throwing a bit more wild. But still there, he looks quite fresh. He looks like he could do a few more.
Dean, I'd love to see 2 more. I know you'll probably agree, but how do you see it? 29-28?
Yeah, almost certainly. I mean, Parton looked like he was fading towards the end. He put a lot in those punches, and he came forward with the hands down. I think it's just a case of Milburn being a little bit more technical. We saw a little bit of that starting to shadow through towards the end. His punches were more direct as opposed to going through for an angle. I think it's just a tie-up of technique here for Milburn when he goes back to the drawing board.
And if Milburn does walk away losing this, which, again, I don't want to run ahead of the scorecards here, but he's got to take a big victory from that last round because he went into the fight, experienced adversity, made some great adjustments, and showed he could be the superior fighter in those exchanges.
Yeah, against a very experienced boxer who had an elusive style, power in that left hook as well that we saw. He did a great job.
So the judges' scorecards are coming in. Parton the winner?
100%.
Parton the winner?
I would agree.
I'm going to give that one unanimous, but only the judges are calling it, so we'll see what happens when the numbers do come in and we do the addition. And Gary Patterson does have that in his hands. We will go to Gary Patterson for the announcements.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we move to the judges' scorecards, we have scores of 29, 28, 30, 27 and 28-29 with your winner by split decision. In the blue corner, Kyle Parton.
It's a split verdict in favor of Kyle Parton. We had 29-28, 28-29 and 30-27. Dean, that's a big discrepancy.
Yeah, that's a huge feather in the cap, though, for Milburn to go back to look at the tape. I mean, look at the stats here. Total strikes, 51%, so not much in it. Power strikes, 52% for Milburn. But the body shots for me, for Milburn, the 67% there. It's an interesting stats.
Now, Harry, you mentioned that maybe that last round would skew the fight just a touch. That's got to be where the power strikes racked up in favor of Milburn.
Yeah, 100%. I think if we looked at his actual Milburn's strikes being thrown for all 3 rounds, I think probably 50% of his strikes were in that last round, and all of them were kill shots ready to do some damage rather than playful jabs trying to get the distance.
Well, there you have it, the preliminary fight stats brought to you by Fight Geek. And of course, this one sponsored by 33 Bedford Row. Thanks again for joining us. You're watching Cage Steel 30. Tail of the tape brought to you by Grizz Energy Gum. It's amateur K1 lightweight at 69 kilograms. Big height advantage there for Tom Goodall, Legions MMA, taking on Reykjavik MMA. It'll be Tom Goodall taking on Yonatan Romero Cruz. 3 potential rounds. Three 2-minute rounds. Romero Cruz comes in. Counter right and a right roundhouse kick. Oh! Huge right hand. Cruz hits the deck. Unbelievable there. A perfect performance to start this. And Tom Goodall has done it in absolutely spectacular fashion.
We spoke about the power in this man's kicks, but it was the hands that captured the win here in Doncaster. What a way to win the fight so early in the round in front of this crowd here. They're on their feet, Chris.
It was unexpected, but I tell you right now, Cruz was caught cold. Taking a look at the replay, he came in through a right roundhouse kick after eating one, and the counter right coming in there from Goodall was perfect. Completely out, down for the count, and tried to take down the referee.
Outstanding timing there by Goodall. As his opponent were coming in with their hands down, he landed it right on the button. Single shot, good night. Outstanding performance. I am gutted for Cruz. He's obviously come a long way to put on his performance. He came in shape, he's trained hard.
And that is a long way to come, as you said, Harry, for a short fight. But that's the game, the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. Dean, what went wrong there?
Well, I mean, what was prescribed for Cruz is to come forward, close the distance, and land close range, having a reach disadvantage. But as he came forward, he walked onto that shot. He didn't move the head. He didn't set up his exit and entries. You know, you never want to punch and move at the same time because you walk on the shots, and that's what we saw from Goodall. He sensed that the right hand was there, land pinpoint on the chin. I mean, you could see as Cruz went down, the legs completely went from him. And
a great stoppage. Obviously, the ref was straight in there, but it's interesting. You know, he was so solid in his frame, and I felt like Cruz thought after eating a low kick, I'm going to give him a low kick, but it's the classic punch the kicker, right?
Yeah, but you saw it, he was so eager to come in. I think there was a lot of pent-up frustration. He came in hard, and unfortunately, he just didn't move his head.
And there you go. Gary Patterson has the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 11 seconds of round number 1, your winner by knockout, Tom the Grass Muncher Goodall.
Goodall going 3-0. The quickest stoppage of his career. That's got to be a record knockout. And the Legions camp will be absolutely delighted with that performance.
MMA guys, they're very tactical, they're all-rounders. We need to see a Savage come and fight them.
There's the tail of the tape, 19 against 22, nearly identical in height. Reykjavik MMA taking on Brown MMA. Börkur Kristinsson taking on David Brown. And Gary Patterson will give us the official introductions here at Cage Steel 30.
The following fight is an amateur bout of MMA held in the lightweight division and will be fought over 3 3-minute rounds and is sponsored by Digisec. Introducing first into the blue corner. This fighter is 19 years of age, stands 5 feet 11 inches tall. He hails from Reykjavik and fights out of AVT MMA. He has a perfect record of 1 straight win. In the blue corner, Börkur Kristinsson. And across the cage in the red corner, this fighter is 22 years of age, stands 6 feet tall. He fights out of Brown MMA. Tonight, he makes his debut in the red corner, David Brown.
The Fallon in charge here as the action continues at Cage Steel, this lightweight amateur MMA contest. Börkur Kristinsson, 1-0, taking on David Brown, making his debut. Kristinsson in the blue corner, Brown in the red.
Kristinsson already looking to bounce in and out of range, looking for the head kick, going to the inside. He's a master of targeting and setting up shots as well to mixing in the kicks. It goes low, then he'll go high and look for the knockout.
Kristinsson backing off, Brown plodding forward. Very patient. Kristinsson, who dropped actually nearly 30 kilos from his strength training down to MMA. And can you imagine being 19 and having those statistics, Harry?
I think I might have been a similar weight when I was 19, but it wouldn't have been a positive weight. I'm quite amazed by David Brown's erratic movements, how he's going. And Kristinsson straight in there.
Kristinsson landing some good connections there. Brown, unorthodox in stature, but will that be his undoing here?
This is what Kristinsson does. He draws the hands low, uses elusive footwork to draw his opponent in, and he looks for that KO shot, whether it be the right hand or the head kick.
Kristinsson with a very disciplined guard, looks to the left hook, follows up with a right roundhouse kick, punches low to the body, right roundhouse to the lead leg again. Scissor technique there from Brown, switching up midair.
Brown reaching for that jab here. Not really firing those punches in bunches. You've got to start thinking about combinations to keep Kristinsson busy.
Busy work here from both fighters, lots of different looks.
Kristinsson with a nice jab to the body. He's been to the body as well with the right hand also. Hands down for Brown. Got to be careful of those kicks, put the hands down. Brown looking for the counter shots though.
Brown inviting Kristinsson. Kristinsson continuing to connect with those leg kicks. The fans going absolutely nuts for Kristinsson. Switching up very nicely to the lead leg. Brown, an unorthodox, kind of tricky customer so far, Harry.
Yeah, I think it's hard for Kristinsson trying to read. I think he's very much keeping himself paced with what he's doing, but I just don't think he knows how to work Brown out. He's got punches coming in from everywhere. He's very unorthodox, very erratic with his feet. He's not really got a strict movement. He's not landing too much either, but he's also, he's not getting hit too much. We haven't seen his ground game yet, so this will be very interesting.
Head kick there from Kristinsson, caught by Brown. 20 seconds to go. Brown thought about the takedown. Kristinsson standing right up. But you're right, Harry, it's kind of like a window of opportunities, you know, and he's having some difficulty figuring it out. Kristinsson going for the pickup, couldn't get it. Brown pushes away. Dean, the end of a fast-paced and strange round one.
Unorthodox as well, but it's interesting to see the contrasting styles, the elusive footwork, the clean striking, almost like a point-fighting system from Kristinsson, and then the crazy wild Tasmanian devil that just fires anything out of the box at you. But it makes an interesting fight, because you alluded to, Harry, it's making Kristinsson almost step back a little bit and look for those ample opportunities not to make that mistake, so it does make for an interesting matchup.
It is. It's the difference in style, because the guys that he fight will be exactly like him. They're all point-style fighters, and it will be that narrow, that technical ability. How many people have you ever seen fight like this guy? David Brown's coming in, arms wailing everywhere. He tried a scissor technique. He's trying spinning. He's absolutely bonkers, but yet it seems to work for him. And it won't be really. It'll be Kristinsson whether he can try and decipher that code and find that shot, because no doubt he has got the power, he has got the technique to be able to break him, but he needs to be able to uncover that.
Well, lots of video game techniques there from David Brown. You mentioned the kind of low percentage maneuvers that seem to cause a little bit of trouble for Kristinsson, but there's a break between rounds for a reason. The advice will have been given from the corners. 2 of a scheduled 3 here at 70 keys.
Brown moving around with the hands up now, close range. Being a little bit more tactful, close range here with the hands up. And the key for Kristinsson is to set up those head kicks, to draw the hands down, to pull Brown into the bravado that we saw early on in the first round and look to land that. He's going to the body though. I like the way he's going to the body and to the leg to disguise that head kick.
So good kicks here from Kristinsson. Brown looking for the jab. Hands up here from Brown.
Now looking for the head kick though, I like that. Very unorthodox on the outside, hands low for Brown as he comes in, looking for the jab, eats a calf kick, and again doubles up from Kristinsson.
Kristinsson going high, Brown backing away. Interesting change of pace so far here.
Yeah, you can see, I think the leg kicks have made a big change in the speed of Brown. Kristinsson keeps landing that low leg kick, and I think it means that erraticness now has been taken away from him. So, well, fantastic game plan. If you're in his corner, you'll be saying, look, this is what you need to do, and then pick him apart until you can get that kill shot.
Oh, Brown goes down. Brown took a dive there. He's turtled up here. Kristinsson sliding into full mount. Down come the punches. Börkur Kristinsson looking to close the show here. Lee Fallen calling for intelligent defense. It's not enough. Börkur Kristinsson with an emphatic victory in front of a partisan crowd here in Doncaster tonight takes that next step in his career.
It's a body kick that sent Brown crashing to the mat, but he followed him, took that top position and rained down those punches from there, and the crowd are on their feet. You can see here around the cage, security having to tell him to back off. What a way to finish here tonight, making a statement against a very elusive and unorthodox Brown.
And Kristinsson going 2-0 with some style. Harry, we talked about a lull in pace.
Yeah.
It was over in a flash.
Yeah, he did exactly what he needed to do. He took away the only thing that stopped him, it was that movement. Hammered away at the legs, so it made him stationary, and then he attacked him with those big kicks to the body. Perfectly timed. A good practitioner.
Well, the patience paid off in the end. Brown talked about fighting and enjoying the risk, but tonight, perhaps that risk was his undoing because he seemed to be caught out by a surprise. But Kristinsson putting in the right work, forcing the finish once it opened up. Clinical. Gary Patterson has the verdict momentarily, but taking a look at the replay, Dean, you mentioned that body kick. Brown was floored. In came Kristinsson, the right hand landing flush.
Yeah, gave up the back, then gave up the mount here to avoid the back take. But look at this ground and pound. Look at the power there being transferred through the arms like a piston, Chris, from that top position.
1 minute and 26 seconds of round number 2. Your winner by way of TKO in the blue corner, Börkur Kristinsson.
And the crowd at fever pitch for this. 3 2-minute rounds potentially at 88 kilos. Super middleweight is the weight division.
Bolchek already looking to open up with the inside leg kicks to try and disbalance and land those power shots. Oh, heavy leg kick though from Mooney.
Mooney collecting flush there. Switch up there for Kowalczyk. Mooney thinking about the counter as well. Overhand right, probing punch there from Mooney. And you can see both fighters have a significant amount of power.
Really trying to establish the power though with that low leg kick. Oh, nice overhand right. That's where he's going to have his success here. Utilizes the leg kicks to fire up those punches. Stiff jab to the chin.
And Mooney connecting multiple times in a row there. Left hook, right hook, lead jab. Going southpaw. Letting that rear technique. Rear tool's always a feature of that stance.
Mooney just doing a better job of managing the distance, Chris. You can see here he skips out of range and immediately looks to fire those punches in. Kowalczyk's finding it a little bit hard to manage the distance here. That's what he needs to do, get behind the jab, throw punches in bunches.
But Kowalczyk actually landed a couple of strikes a moment ago, Harry.
Yeah, that inside leg kick to left hook landed perfectly. If it had followed that way a right hand, then that could have been it. Like, these guys are so powerful, you could just hear it echoing through dome.
It's kind of one of those fights where every single connection could have massive consequences, so you see short exchanges like this, don't you?
Yeah, these short exchanges, all it needs is just one right hand. It's that lack of concentration where your gloves are just slightly further down. Big right hand, big kick comes through, and that's it, game over.
10 seconds remaining. Kowalczyk and Mooney. Mooney popping the jab, 2-2. Roundhouse kick. 3-2 in response from Kowalczyk. Interesting round. Tough to score, no?
Yeah, Kowalczyk just not able to utilize his distance. He swung a couple punches there towards the end of that first round, and Mooney just eluded. Now, if Mooney can start to put the illusion back to the counter shot, so move out of range, slip back from the punches, and come in and do some damage, he's going to have success there. But we've got to see on the flip side of that, Kowalczyk's going to start throwing these punches in bunches. He's going to get in this fight. First round's done, forget it like a bad exam, come into the second round strong.
Now, Harry and I had noted that Kowalczyk did have a good connection there, but I would say Mooney 10-9.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, Mooney landed the better shots. 10-9 sounds good.
All right. Well, you're watching Cage Steel 30. Let us know what you think. Chris, Harry, Dean on comms, hashtag Cage Steel 30. And be sure, of course, to check in on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. We hope you're enjoying this one as much as we are. And we said it before, we'll say it again. Mooney and Kowalczyk have got power. Buckle up. 2 of his scheduled 2 more minutes on the clock. Andy Nichols says seconds out. Round 2.
And there's the dominance we needed from Kowalczyk. But he's going to tie these punches together. Oh, nice body kick. Going again for the body here. Hands low for Mooney.
Mooney looking good here. Good early surge from Calvin Mooney. Low kick thundering home. And we talked about it, Dean, this is amateur kickboxing, so, and you fought with the pads before, it does change sort of the dimensions of the leg kick game.
For sure, inside leg kicks, calf kicks, head kicks, it definitely takes the power away from him. You know, so, oh, nice work. Oh, huge body kick, that's nice work. But you've got to remember as well, the teeps and the turn side kicks are not padded. So we saw a little bit from that from Mooney trying to land with the sole of the foot to the midsection of Kowalczyk.
It's kind of one of those where you've got traditional shin guards used for sparring on one fighter, and you've got sort of a thinner setup for MMA on the other, right? Even that can make some differences because, you know, you and I both spar with the full tie style shin pads, and that really does take the brunt of the blow away.
Yeah, that's a really interesting read, actually, the fact that Kowalczyk has much thicker shin guards. Mooney's is noticeably a lot thinner, which is obviously going to transfer more power from Mooney into the body of Kowalczyk.
Kick catch there from Mooney. Pace really slowing here, Harry.
Yeah, you notice there as well, with Mooney catching the foot and putting him on the deck twice. It's quite disheartening, bringing your body back up, especially to start getting tired, getting back off the canvas again and again. It's quite disheartening to fighter.
So Mooney continually controlling this fight. Very patient performance with the jab so far. Just ever so slightly blinding Kowalczyk with that a couple of times. Simultaneous roundhouse kick exchange. 4 minutes are history. Harry, how do you have that one?
I think it's still the same. I'd say 10-9 again to Mooney. I think he's had the dominance. He seems to be landing better, even though Kowalczyk, it's kind of like he's wanting it, he's coming out with it, but he's just not landing how he wants. He's getting a bit of a flurry and he's landing a few shots, but he's just taking more of it in return.
Now let's go to the kitchen here, right? Kowalczyk tasted brilliance in that first round. The ingredients were there. There was a perfect moment. What does he need to do to get back to that again?
I think he needs to slow down and pick his shots better. Like I said, how he did it was perfect. Inside leg kick, left hook is what landed. Whereas now he just seems to be over eager to try and finish the fight and is rushing in rather than setting it up with his head. But then Mooney is the taller fighter. We've seen him catch the legs. He seems a bit more technical in what he's doing and he's controlling the pace. But then we'll see, potentially, he's going to be 2 rounds down. If you're his corner now, do you want to tell him to try and control the pace, or are you telling him to go for a Hail Mary and try and finish fight with a knockout?
I think the latter, right? The former would be a losing proposition. Well, Mr. Midhat, let's talk about strategies as this one starts again. Final 2 minutes. Give me a recommendation for both sides.
I agree with you guys. Kowalczyk's got to go for the finish, but look at him in the corner. Didn't really want too much water. I think the cardiovascular endurance is going to be an issue for Kowalczyk. Oh, he stomps forward with a nice combination, however. Eats a leg kick.
And has Mooney just got to weather the storm here?
Oh, Mooney's tagged!
Mooney got absolutely cracked there. We talked about having to be meticulous in this fight. Mooney in total control, and a moment of extreme turbulence there in round 3.
Big flurry from Kowalczyk. He's got to pick his poison, though. He's got to pick these ample opportunities to explode and then conserve energy. You see there, he's backing off against the cage. Parries the leg nicely from the kick from Mooney. Mooney looking for the overhand right.
Wow. Unreal. Harry, we spoke about getting back to where he was in the first round. That was close.
He came out on fire. I hope he doesn't go back into that same lull and finish quiet. I want him to get that fire back behind him. Oh, that was a body shot with the left hand. And again.
Mooney going to the body. You mentioned it. He cannot get lulled into accepting the return fire from Mooney for another 1.5 minutes, now under 60 seconds.
This is a welcome break here for Kowalczyk. He's hurt to the body, and we saw Mooney then try to target the body. We can see some of the redness already on the stomach area of Kowalczyk. Let's see if Mooney starts to target those body shots. Looking for the uppercut and left hook combination is Mooney.
Oh, it's class here from Mooney. He's controlling this fight after nearly a troublesome moment. Mooney with a nice couple of straight punches, finishing with the right roundhouse kick. Kowalczyk backing off. Has Kowalczyk blown his load?
I hope not. I want to see some fire for final 10 seconds to try and finish it. If he continues like this, he's going to lose. I think his corner needs to say, look, if you want this, you got to go get it now.
So Kowalczyk looking for a home run, trying to knock it out of the park.
Oh, looks like he's got an injury. I think he tore his bicep with that left hook.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's outrageous.
It's a count. Andy Nichols giving the count here.
Looks like
Kowalczyk pointing down to his arm. You mentioned it, Dean. It might be the bicep. Oh, no. That's it. That's it. Andy Nichols waves it off. Calvin Mooney controlling the fight. Kowalczyk really showing some urgency in the beginning of that round. But it looks to me in the middle of those exchanges, as you said, injury TKO, Dean.
Yeah, it could have been the bicep, maybe the pec tendon tear, but either way, he threw that left hook. He winded out and immediately retracted his hand and looked down to his left bicep. So it'd be interesting to see what went there. You can see there he's pointing to the referee to his left arm, and the medic's in.
Well, we mentioned this was a weight class where just 1 or 2 exchanges could define the fight. It's exactly the way it played out.
Yeah, exactly that. It was very well played by Mooney. He seemed to keep the pace. It was obviously the right size for him. He didn't cut enough weight that he was too slow, and it was a hindrance. He did exactly what he needed to do. He controlled the fight, he landed some good shots. It's unfortunate he landed the way he did because nobody wants to see injuries. I think it was inevitable that he was going to win. And again, I can't wait to see him fight again. Hopefully he goes on and has a second K1 fight here at the Octagon.
Yeah, especially considering the resilience, right? We mentioned the other martial arts he has experience in for Kowalczyk. he's a survivor, right? And he has shown that at this weight, he has the power and propensity to salvage a finish even in a fight that he was losing. I mean, that's kind of one of the surprising things. And what was also amazing and impressive was for Mooney to retake control of every single round somehow, right?
It would have been easy for him to crumble, but instead he managed to pick his pace back up. He went over the adversity and he like maintained the pace but rest of round.
I couldn't have said it better. Harry, Dean, that's been a good one, and Gary will give us the verdict.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round number 3, your winner by TKO in the blue corner, Calvin Mooney.
Whereas Sigurdsson, he's come on a holiday, he's got opportunity to do a last-minute fight, and he's jumped in.
All right, the stakes are high. Baldur Logi Sigurdsson, Conor McLean, 19 against 26. Nearly identical in height. It's an international hard work MMA against Reykjavik MMA. This one brought to you by Axify. Hey, Conor McLean looking to go 2-0. Baldur Logi Sigurdsson in his debut. Baldur in the blue, Conor in the red.
McLean already looking to come forward with pressure. Got to be careful about dropping those hands and eating that head kick, however. Goes low with the leg kick.
Sigurdsson needs a right roundhouse kick to the lead leg. McLean moving off the center line. Working his way inside.
McLean will often set up those head kicks with the low, heavy leg kick. Oh, beautiful catch. Turns it into a double. Taps the knee beautifully. Got to be careful about walking into the triangle. McLean needs to get his posture here. Oh, there's a triangle attempt here from the bottom position from Sigurdsson.
Sigurdsson thought about getting into the diamond guard, couldn't quite get it. McLean scrambling back up. Sigurdsson again off his back. Active guard here. McLean has got to mind the details in those positions. Aggression, yes, in his favor. Technical details, essential.
Yeah, ground and pound tactics in that top position. Got to keep the arms and the neck safe from the arm bars and the triangles.
Low kick there. Landing to the calf from McLean. Swing and a miss there from Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson, so much forward pressure. Ooh, that was close, Harry.
Yeah, he came narrowly missed with that big right kick. He's keeping that pressure on him, keep moving forward with these big wild shots, but he looks really controlled with it. Sigurdsson's, he's come ready, he's firing. Another good body shot.
Sigurdsson throwing the kick. McLean again moving his head off the center line, but a couple of times he's moved his head into the trajectory of those very strikes.
Yeah, you got to be careful about slipping. And you know, in the boxing round, you can slip because you don't have to worry about the kicks. But you can see there, McLean ever so slightly puts his head off to the left. He's got to be careful about eating that shin to the chin from Sigurdsson.
Well, it's been an absolute sprint for the last 120 or so seconds between McLean and Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson thought about maybe getting the duck under, blocked by McLean. Nice control there with the frame.
So control for head position here, or underhooks, or the separation from Sigurdsson. Says to me that he wants to strike. Looking for the left hook, going to the body of Sigurdsson. Oh, low blow.
Left straight for Sigurdsson. Chambering, I believe, what was a right hand, but it was offsides, Harry.
Yeah, unfortunately, it went low where they were close together. But Sigurdsson has come to play today. He is firing well. For a 19-year-old, very composed. Like you said, those head kicks that have narrowly missed, he's having the time of his life in there.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it, right? You didn't know who you were going to fight, but you were confident that you were prepared. So.
And we saw he's obviously quite comfortable standing up, but then when it hit the canvas, he was pretty rapid with the submissions as well. He had 2 different triangle attempts. He's obviously quite comfortable everywhere.
McLean switching up. Nice stiff jab there from McLean. Forward pressure again. Sigurdsson is just itching for a fight here.
Sigurdsson a little bit reckless, close range. I see him just a little bit more technical. Doing a good job of looking for the punches, but he dips his head ever so slightly, of course. Doesn't have to worry about the knees to the head here. Oh, McLean looking for the double leg.
He's driving. Can he clasp his hands and get that golden ticket? No, has to go waist up. Nice over-under there. Wow. Round of the night, eh?
Yeah, I mean, from a 19-year-old kid, and Sigurdsson is really putting it on McLean. I mean, McLean came into this fight supremely confident in his grappling skills and his calculated pressure, but we saw the counter pressure from Sigurdsson.
How do you got it so far?
I think Sigurdsson, I think it's 10-9. He's come out strong. He's a bit of a Duracell bunny in the fact that he seems to keep that relentless pace as well. Can you imagine him if he had a full camp and he actually came prepared and he knew he was fighting?
And here the counter there from McLean, trying to grab that takedown a couple of times. You saw him successful there, but as we saw in the replay a moment ago too, Sigurdsson's got a game off his back. There, the head kick, a narrow miss. McLean leaning off to the left, crack to the right there. A chaotic pace, I think, of this round so far, Dean. 10-9 for Sigurdsson. You
got to
agree?
see, yeah, I'd agree. You've got to see Sigurdsson look for the calm in the chaos. What I mean by that is throw those punches by all means, but be technical, be direct. Don't dip the head off in these exchanges.
All right. Moving into the second stanza between McLean and Sigurdsson. Three more minutes on the clock.
Really looking to go low. He utilizes that when he looks for the head kick. Oh, combination of punches here. There's the head kick from McLean.
McLean, a good flurry, finishing with a head kick of his own. Couldn't quite find it.
Oh, nice work from Sigurdsson. And he storms in, punching in the dead space, gives up the single leg again.
I'm so impressed at Sigurdsson's ability to transition in these scrambles and actually strike. You mentioned it. He kind of kicked into space, right? Expecting McLean to be there. It didn't land, but it's a good threat.
Yeah, he's got a great sit-click rate. He always ties the attacks together. Even in the dead space, when there's space between them after an exchange, Sigurdsson fills that with punches.
So McLean and Sigurdsson continuing to just throw combinations, lots of different looks. Up high, up low, and it's not just like one or two punches, it's like 3 or 4 and a kick.
Yeah, we've noticed difference now with McLean. McLean seems to be landing a lot more shots, but then Sigurdsson, he moved backwards. He defended 3 shots moving backwards, changed angle and threw his own. What experience from a 19-year-old that he can actually, he's got that competence in ring to be able to perform at that level.
Absolutely, it's an art in itself, isn't it? Being able to go from offense to defense, moving forward and backwards. Well, the pace slowing just a touch, nearing the midway point of this entire contest. Will it go the full 3 rounds? You just have to ask yourself. Nice stiff punch there. McLean landing flush. Sigurdsson backing off. Left hand lands for McLean. McLean smelling a possible finish here.
Oh, teep to the body. McLean looking for the distance. Sigurdsson storms in with the punches, but puts his head down. He's got to keep that head up in the exchanges to prevent McLean from drawing him into a clinch and nullifying those heavy close-range punches.
And it was a nice response from Sigurdsson just when you thought McLean was starting to get the better of these trades in round 2. Total focus from Sigurdsson and McLean.
Sigurdsson's got to make that adjustment. When he comes forward, he dips his head. This puts him off balance, and he can't see the target in front of him as well. He's got to make the adjustment to squat low with the legs and keep the head up so he can see his opponent.
McLean is finding a home for the 1, the 2, and that overhand left. Impressive, very impressive. Tied up, Harry?
I think Sigurdsson, I think he's burnt out. I think he had a fantastic, first and halfway through this round, but I think he's burnt out now. He's taken some big shots, and I think he's had enough.
Yeah, there was an inadvertent head strike there from the knee from McLean, so Sigurdsson would get some time to recover here, Chris.
Yeah, I could see him making some adjustments on his glove as well. But the tide, it would seem, is starting to turn in this contest. Sigurdsson breathing heavily in the corner. Our referee making, obviously, a verbal warning here. I don't think we'll see a point taken. But a point made is grounds for a point being taken later. 20 seconds on the clock.
Sigurdsson backs up here, eats a straight right hand head kick attempt there from McLean. McLean's pouring the pressure on here. This is what he's known for, calculated pressure. Did a good job of keeping Sigurdsson off that back foot.
Well, McLean promised to finish here against Sigurdsson tonight, building his amateur career on the road to go pro. But right now, there's a roadblock by way of Iceland. Sigurdsson refusing to back down. I got this fight tied.
A very interesting matchup. Again, really impressed with the ability of the 19-year-old Sigurdsson, but for me, he's not as clean. He's off balance with that dip of the head. You can see he's wearing the damage on the nose as well. That is going to score heavily on the judges' scorecard.
19-19?
Yeah, I'd have to agree, for sure.
I agree. That round definitely going to red corner just because of the turn of the tide. I'm just hoping Sigurdsson gets rejuvenated, gets some fight from somewhere, and we see another spectacular round for round number 3. Because it is all to play for still, but what I don't want to see is him come out tired, a bit beat down. He's obviously got claret coming from his face. I don't want that mental to draw from him. We want him to come out on fire, want him to finish. I think he's still deadly. He's still got the kicks. He's still got those big winding punches that are just thrown everywhere. But at the minute, I think McLean, he's kept his composure. He's ridden the storm, and he seems to be taking it to where he wants it now.
Yeah, the rhythm really seemed to go in favor of Conor. What's been the difference, do you think? Oh, no! We're just getting word here that this fight has been stopped in between the rounds. Dean, we mentioned that there was a possible equipment thing going on with his hand. I think it might have been a dislocation. Might have been a thumb.
Interesting. From here, we can't see which hand he's trying to protect. He's using both hands to drink the water.
He was tapping it, though. The hand was open. It looked like the fist was open. This fight is over in between rounds, and Conor McLean gets that fairy tale finish he had promised. He wanted a stoppage, and he got it in the end. Harry?
Yeah, it's great that he managed to... The fight, it's not as if it's an accidental damage or anything like that that's happened while he was getting beat. The fight did turn, so he was on top. He was getting the advantage. And he, like I said, if the fight had continued the way it did in round 3, he would have got the win. It's good to see that he weathered the storm of round number 1 and he got the turn of the tide, and he was starting to put his own pressure on and take the fight where he wanted it. Unfortunately for Sigurdsson, but as we mentioned earlier on, I really do want him to come back with a full camp and show us what he can do against another opponent.
Beautifully stated, I agree. Taking a look at some of the action there, that right hand landing beautifully as Conor McLean started to really run away with this fight. Good connections there in the second round. A resilient Sigurdsson was in it until the end, but Dean, it seemed to me that Sigurdsson just wasn't able to find that early success that he had in round 1, and potentially an injury sustained there, and that's the fight.
Yeah, he was off balance, he ate some damage, you know. I think the key was the balance for him, even in the exchanges, and when he made McLean miss and then capitalized that when he came forward after he caught the kick, you know, he hurt McLean, but he didn't capitalize. As he comes forward, he dips his head and he puts him off balance. So see if we can go back to the drawing board and correct that.
Well, Conor McLean, who found MMA with a charity MMA fight, fell in love, hoped to make his cousin proud tonight, and that he did. Gary Patterson has the official announcement and will announce the winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round number 2, your winner by TKO through corner stoppage. In the red corner, Conor McLean.
Jack Toy is in the cage, and Gary Patterson will give us the official announcements. The intensity of the stare down before Andy Nichols says go was something to see there, Dean.
Yeah, we're seeing the jab early on here from Kerry. He's done his homework. He's using fakes and feigns as well as head movement. He eats a stiff jab. We know that Toy has a lovely stiff jab that he sets up the left hook with when his opponents get pressured backwards towards the cage. This is where he looks for that left hook.
Toy going to the body. Oh no! Doran Kerry's gone down. Is it a knockdown? Yes, it is. Andy Nichols, given the count here, it looked to me like it was a dig to the body, Dean.
Yeah, I think it was the right hand to the body, then left uppercut that did it, but Kerry was complaining it as slip.
Tough to say. I think it was the body shot that opened things up. Good observation, Harry. Oh no, Toy again. Lead left. Doran Kerry noticeably slower there as Jack Toy continues to use the power that he said was going to be one of the biggest differences. He said, look, I spar hard. I've been dealing with guys who've been trying to take my head off in training. Say what you want about training smart, but Toy is ready for a firefight here tonight.
He's got the skills close range as well as long range. He looks for the uppercuts close range as we're seeing here. Measuring out with the jab as well, hunting for that right hand. There's some nice head work, overhand right lands though for Toy.
Well, Toy continuing the assault here. Multiple punches coming here from Jack Toy.
Oh, heavy body shot. Kerry's hurt. Toy's gonna hunt for that body here now.
Absolutely. A very, very clean connection to the midsection there from Jack Toy. And Torrin Carey is on a slippery slope, under 20 seconds.
I wonder if Toy realized how hurt he had Kerry to the body. He seems to have let him off the hook here. Kerry looking for the jab. He's backing up. Smart play from Kerry. He's going to get a bit of time now in the corner to regain that equilibrium from that body shot.
Wow. Harry, your thoughts?
It looks like Toy's got a large power advantage, and when he's landing, it's really making a difference, and it's just taking more and more out of Kerry. Kerry now is on the back foot, obviously, but he's going to have to mentally and physically step up because he's getting hit with some big shots.
And a surging Jack Toy there in the replay, absolutely flooring Torrin Carey. It looked like it was that dig that you mentioned, Harry, that might have done the handiwork, but Andy Nichols giving it a count. It's a 10-8 round. Here another angle on some of the action as Toy was literally touring with Carey. He talked about a playful attitude and letting the finish open up. Dini was saying it would be surprising to see this one hit the final bell. So far, evidence suggesting that's the case.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with his ability to go upstairs and downstairs. We know he's got a great jab. We know he's got a great left hook. I love the way he dug to the body and dropped Kerry to the canvas.
All right, 2 of his scheduled 3. Jack Toy, Torrin Carey. Toy in the blue, Carey in the red. The title is on the line here. But it's also about bragging rights. These two fought previously, it was a draw. Jack Toy continuing to flurry here with power punches. Carey responding with a left hand of his own a couple of times.
When Kerry's on that back foot, he's going to look for the uppercuts as Toy comes in. He's going to make you miss, go around that shot, and land that decisive punch close range.
They're noticeably different fighters than the last time they fought.
Yeah, it's like the light years ahead. More body work, more combinations, upstairs and downstairs from Toy. And we're seeing a lot better footwork as well from Kerry.
Toy, again, putting on the pressure. Carey's hands are loading.
Yeah, he likes to work on the outside, look for that left hook counter as we see here. And I think he's trying to conserve some of that body. You know, there was a hard body shot in that last round from Toy. Kerry with the overhand right, though, finding the range here now. And that's what he's got to do. He's got to move his head off that center line and come forward to land those punches over the arms. Oh, big left hook here. Toy storming forward for the pressure. Going to the body, going to the head.
Toy putting in work, going upstairs and down. Carey holding on for dear life. Possible low blow, tough to say. What happened, Harry?
I didn't see the low blow, but it looks like Kerry has obviously got a complaint.
Might it have been the shorts? I mean, it's tough to see in...
I don't know, they were very close, they were both bent over. I didn't know if he hit him low or if he was pulling on the head with his other hand.
Yep.
Either way, he wasn't very happy.
Tough to grab shorts in boxing gloves, right?
Yeah. He fires back straight with that overhead right, trying to catch him out again.
Well, Toy continues that southpaw assault. Torrin Carey noticeably patient. I don't know whether dipping in with the head like that's the right strategy, Dean.
It looks like, yeah, oh, nice flurry of punches there. He's trying to bait that lead hand out so he can slip it off. He's trying to get that time in. You lean the head forward, the jab comes. You know, right there's the time and slip off. That's the key here for Kerry. He's got to slip. And you see he's working more head movement from side to side to set up these shots. He's got to come in. He's got to cover the distance, Chris.
I was going to say, apologies. It's been a better round for Carey.
For sure, yeah, and largely due to the head work we're seeing here. He rolls out and sets up the overhand right. But again, he's got to make sure he commits. And when he commits coming forward, he's got to evade capture of the punches from Toy.
Did Toy punch himself out?
Well, yeah, looking in the corners here, you can see Toy's taking the squat here.
Yeah, it did seem that way, that he was a lot more aggressive in the first round. He did get pinged with a few overhand rights in the second round, and it is whether now he's still got enough left in the tank to actually take it where he wants it. Is he going to be able to take it into the next round with the same aggression and the same power that he needed to finish it? Or has Kerry now got that surge? He knows that he's not been finished. Has he taken his best and he's going to come back with some resilience? He's going to use his head movement. It's still all to play for, but I think Kerry's got to have a bit of a fire behind him, and he's got to be pretty happy with how that round went.
And the question will be, might it be a rope-a-dope strategy in the cage? Well, taking a look at the corners there, a very motivated and focused Kerry. And Jack Toy promised to put in a vicious finishing performance before the end of 10 minutes. Both fighters seeking vengeance. Last time around it was a draw, and now it's for all the marbles, Dean.
Toy's been very technical, but I like the way he's being more aggressive as well. He's trying to land the power. He's got some vicious snap on the end of that jab. Separation here. Toy looking for the jab. Double jab to the body. For Kerry, doing a better job of firing with speed here. Close range is Kerry. Nice slip off to the side there. Overhand right attempt from Kerry. He's doing a better job of trying to time this jab now of Toy. Oh, huge overhand right here for Kerry.
And Kerry surging in confidence here. He is really finding his mark and his timing. Nice stiff jab there from Kerry. What's going on with Toy?
Yeah, he seems to kind of be on the back foot a little bit, so we don't often see him. You know, he's firing with some power. He's got a nice snap at him. He's not pressing forward. Some lovely head work there from Kerry. I think the fact is he's missing, you know, he's firing these shots out, and Kerry's got such good head work that he's missing these shots, and he doesn't want to overcommit like that. I think that's what he's trying to stop himself doing, then walking onto those counter shots.
Toy breathing here, bobbing and weaving is Torin Kerry. Kerry trying to cover here as Toy flurries back. Both fighters opening up here again. It's one of the best exchanges of these last couple rounds.
Kerry doing a much better job of countering now. He moves and he counters. He winds up the punches to the relevant hit. You can see there, going to the body, left hook to the head.
Kerry dipping his head. As you said, Dean, trying to invite the lead hand of Jack Toy. Toy has been breathing, say, for the last round and a half.
Yeah, I think he's. I think he might have punched himself out, and I think the fact that he keeps missing with these big shots, and then Kerry's taking advantage of it as well. I think it's a bit of a mental breakdown for him as well. He's putting what he can out, and he's not getting much in return. And then well, you can see Kerry's dancing. His footwork now has just reached another level. His movement's kind of evolved in that last round.
And his kind of unorthodox head movement. I mean, he's like bending over and doing all these different things that seem over-exaggerated. Like, I would look to be a little bit more economical, but it's working against Toy, who is noticeably tired.
Yeah, it's working. He's making his opponent miss, and he's managed to land those punches when he does, which we saw him there when he evaded 3-4 shots in a row, slipped out, caught his opponent with a left hook, then moved back out of range. Absolutely artistic boxing style. And it seems to be working. He's still got 2 rounds left to dance now. Do you know what I mean? He can still take this. Obviously, I know we're probably going to do this, but unofficially, I think he probably took that round.
I agree.
He could still probably take the next 2 if he don't get hit with anything big. He could take this away, all because, do you mean, Toy potentially punched himself out trying to finish it too early.
So, Dean, this begs to question, what has Jack Toy got to do to get back into this contest?
He's got to reactivate now. You can see there in the corner. That's what he's got to do. The TJ Dillashaw, you slap the hands after a bad round. Now you've got to implement what you want. Push him on his back foot. Don't miss. Use these slips to set it up. So use fakes and feigns to see where the head's going to go and then look to target with the right hand.
All right. Heading into the championship rounds here at Cage Steel 30. It's for the title. 2 minutes on the clock.
Interesting to see. Toy take a back foot. There's some nice power that we know him for. He's got to press the action here. He's got to use that double jab and that range. Even the fakes. Oh, nice overhand right, close range uppercuts. There's a left hook, though. Glances past the chin from Kerry.
Kerry with a left hook on the exit. Toy, a nice flurry.
Kerry doing such a good job of making Toy miss and then capitalizing.
Are you surprised Toy is not leading with the jab as often?
seems to be taking the back foot here. It's kind of like he wants to invite Kerry onto this left hook, and he's just missing, you know. You could definitely argue the case here that Kerry has the speed advantage, at least. Toy with the power. So Toy's got to be more economical with his work, and he's got to set the shots up, the fakes and feints, to try and determine where the head's going to end up. And you notice as well, when Kerry rolls, he dips his head down. That's when you've got to see Toy cover the distance and use the uppercut.
And I would say a cardio advantage too, right? I mean, that's kept Toy and Kerry in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, look at the two statures of the men. You know, there's a more musculature set or a more heavier guy. It takes a lot more energy to maneuver that body around the cage.
Well, we spoke to Jack Toy earlier during fight week, and he was absolutely adamant that the community support behind him and all the hard training. Oh, nice left hook there from Toy. He talked about that momentum and how it was going to be the biggest difference in this rematch. As Toy lands one of the best punches of this round, could this be the tide turning yet again?
Kerry with the pressure. We spoke about this in the build-up. The key for this fight is who gets off first, who pressures on this outside position. I mean, look at that head work going to the body from Kerry. Oh, looking for the overhand right. Initiation of the clinch, though, a smart decision from Toy.
And deep breaths from Kerry. Kerry tired. Kerry coming back here. Moving the head. Moving the hands. How do you got that one, Harry?
It's tricky because Kerry's definitely landing more shots. He's throwing more, he's landing more, he's being more fluid. But when they hit it, they're not strong enough to actually end the match. They are just picking away, which is all scoring on the good judges and Fight Geek will show us when we finished. But he's never in any danger of really finishing it. Whereas when Toy actually picks up his pace and he starts landing, you think, ah, yes, one more shot and he's going to drop him.
Yep.
It is that so, yeah, I think it's probably going to go to the red corner. It's probably going to go to Kerry just for his, well, the amount of shots and the pressure that he's putting on. But you can't write him out, can you?
It's one of those things, like, Toy had the best punch of that round. It was a left hook, and it was violent. I mean, you could see the actual rebound of Kerry actually moving away from the impact of that shot. But you wonder whether sometimes one big one is enough to do it, right? But
how does the judge score it? Obviously, if he's been hit with 4 small punches, or if somebody takes a big shattering punch, do you know what I mean?
I agree.
But yeah, is he going to have enough now in the tank to actually bring out the fire and get the knockdown that he needs?
I agree. 5 of 5. Final 2 minutes of this fight between Torin Kerry and Jack Toy. There was some level of anticipation that we would not see a final bell between these two. It did go the distance. Oh! Toy with a big flurry there. He promised deliverance, and he might be able to open up a finish here. Jack Toy landing combinations here. Left hook, right hook, body, head, body for Toy. Huge connection there, earns the count, and that was what he wanted.
So I think it looked like he thought the fight was over. He's going to get the count. Kerry's got to keep that head moving. It was set up by that left hook from Toy. Toy's not going to waste any time now to look for the finish. Toe to toe here, Toy looking to slam the punches in, looking for the jab, looking for the measuring stick here. He's pouring on the pressure. Referee jumps in again for the count.
Jack Toy gets another count. Not much time left in this fight, and Torin Kerry is in some serious trouble. Will he make it? Andy Nichols looking very carefully here. Jack Toy fishing. With under 60 seconds to go in this contest, that'll be a 10-7 round.
Kerry looks unstable on his feet here. I think one decisive punch could cause a referee to step in. You can see there he's twitching. Toy's got to go for it here and land decisively and accurately.
Kerry's out on his feet. Kerry's absolutely wobbled here. Jack Toy has found magic here at Cage Steel 30.
Wise decision there from Kerry to hold on in the clinch. Separation, toe-to-toe, big heavy left hook there from Toy. Looking for the right hand to the chin. A clinch again from Kerry.
Bullfighters exhausted, giving everything they had in this title contest. But Jack Toy may very well have sealed the deal. As you said, Harry, it was those power punches that may have been the difference, and I believe that with that round, they've won him the title.
Yeah, I think if you go for unofficially
10-7 round.
Yeah. Oh, definitely for that round. But I'm thinking is 10-8, round number 1. Round number 2, close. Round would be 10-9, 10-9, and then a 10-7. We should, I think, go to the blue corner. I think you should go to Toy, but it all depends. All depends how the judges are going to score 2 and 3. I think.
Taking a look at the action here, Jack Toy was all over Torrin Carey. The combinations, the hook, the left, right on the button there. Andy Nichols stepping in with the count. That was a valiant final minute or so from Jack Toy.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we move to the judges' scorecard, each judge scores the bout 48-44, and your winner and the Cage Steel British lightweight champion in the blue corner, Jack Pretty Boy Toy.
There's a vast amount of experience right there.
The tail of the tape, the amateur European middleweight title is on the line, 24 and 26. Johan taking on Joe. 174 plays 185. Height advantage for Joe Ambler. It's Reykjavik MMA taking on CBKA. This brought to you by Mary Monson. Motivated and focused. Touch of gloves.
And we're really looking to establish center stage, switching stances, potentially looking for that left body kick, lifting the lead up for the teep here. Switching back to the orthodox stance.
3 3-minute rounds in prospect. It's going to be a fast-paced title fight. It's one of those, Dean, you know. It's not like you've got championship rounds, so every single one of these is going to count.
Salinas has got to cover that distance here to transfer that power. Likes to punch his way in to set up the clinch as well. As of yet, working on the back foot, trying to get his back off of the cage.
Ambler and Salinas doing the dance. Duck under, potentially on tap, doesn't get it. Body lock. Can he reap the outside of the back of the leg?
Salinas is going to try and circle around to his right side whilst he traps that leg. Could also drop down for the ankle kick there if we see Ambler punching that underhook.
Salinas with tons of pressure, head position maybe not quite where he'd want it to be. Can Ambler pummel in? Yes, he can. Salinas is just fighting for that takedown, Dean.
Salinas looking to turn the corner there, doesn't get it. Nice separation there from Ambler.
Solid fundamentals from Ambler. Patience here from Joe Ambler. Calf kick. Salinas bouncing in and out with the confidence that he promised.
Looking for a nice combination. Looking to target with that lead hand. Nice lead uppercut there from Salinas.
Salinas promised that mixing it all together would be the difference, yet Joe Ambler is known as a very well-rounded fighter. Harry, so far, any analysis?
Yeah, you can see Joe Ambler with his wide stance. As we mentioned previously, his coach is a real top-level striker, and I think that's been passed down to him as well. You can see by the wide stance, how he checked the kick previously, seems very comfortable with that wide karate-style base.
Shin frame here from Joe. There must be a name for that. When you frame your shin in the leg. Harry, you look like you were going to say something. There must be something in the book somewhere, right?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean, like the shin shield across so you can't move it forward.
Kind of like a knee shield or something off your back, exactly, yeah. I'm sure they'll flame us on the internet for that one. Anyways, looking to get the takedown is Salinas. Ambler goes to his knees, exposes his back. Can he build his base back up?
Salinas has got some great top position, excellent positional control on the top. Looks for some rear naked choke when he obtains the back. He's got to get that right hook in though. He's looking to grapevine the legs here through. At this point in time, that left leg being blocked off by the cage. Going to see Ambler look to turn into his opponent in that instance.
And a very, very organized defense there from Joe Ambler. As you mentioned, Dean, blocking that back take. Talk me through that round. Interesting to see Salinas pressing the takedown. That wasn't necessarily the strategy that I saw. In fact, if we go back to our pre-fight analysis, we thought that the wrestling was going to come from Ambler.
Yeah, I mean, Salinas likes to punch his way into the double leg and clinch, and it's a smart play against Ambler. Ambler's got some great striking and nice takedown defenses we've seen here. So we've got to see Salinas really take this one down to the ground. And we thought that Salinas would throw heavy from the feet because he punches hard. And what he does is tries to land those shots, and sometimes by default he knocks the guy out, but what he's looking for is to punch his way in to set up the clinch to again take the fight down to the ground.
Punching clutch?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a good job of it as well. It's just, we can take a look at the replay here, the takedown defense. It was the high crotch switch as he went round to the back. Salinas utilizing the circular motion there to get the fight down to the ground. Ambler looking to turn, but gives up the back momentarily.
And Salinas doing a great job there, blocking with that knee to get the takedown. Harry, 10-9.
He's tricky, but yeah, it's probably a 10-9 just for that takedown that he finished off there.
Which he didn't do an awful lot with, but at least he did, you know, put a couple of punches in.
And it's that grinding as well, that constant grinding and carrying somebody else's weight all that time really wears on you.
Ambler with the low kick. Salinas again, you talked about it, Dean, he was looking to punch his way into the clinch. Every one of these rounds counts.
That's what's on Salinas' side, the fact that he's a dangerous puncher. You know, you can't make a mistake with him. So if he touches you, he can shut you off. But equally, he fires these heavy shots to set up the takedown. And
when I say every round counts, I really mean every exchange, because 3 minutes, 3 rounds is just not that much time. Good connections here again from Salinas as he works his way into close range. Ambler pummeling. Framing, pushing his way away. Beautiful job there from Joe Ambler.
And we're looking for those heavy shots close range. He's going to give up the level change, though. Single leg entry for Salinas. He can switch to the double here if he runs the double.
Salinas looking to go above the waist there and convert. Can't get it. Tried to run the pipe previously with the single. Couldn't get it either. Great takedown defense here from Joe Ambler. Left hand there from Salinas.
Ambler looking to hammer that leg, though, with those leg kicks in the separation. Now Ambler on the outside drops down for a double.
And Ambler, for the first time in this contest, looking to take the fight down to the canvas.
Now, Ambler does work good in the top position, where he likes to work ground and pound to promote guard passes to a more advantageous position. And he's got a lovely dash stroke from side control.
Nice post there a moment ago from Salinas. I mean, the guy is athletic. The guy is seriously, seriously athletic and quick. Are we seeing a change in strategy at all here?
Salinas is holding on, looking for the takedown, and as expected from Ambler, pummeling for the underhooks and defending the takedown beautifully.
Harry, your thoughts?
I think Ambler seems to be a bit frustrated. He's coming in trying with them bigger shots rather than setting him up now. But I think in doing that, he's closing the distance and kind of playing with Salinas' strategy of wrestling, because he seems strong with his wrestling ability. When he gets it, he's keeping control, and he's a grinder, isn't he? He's a grinder.
Ambler fishing for the takedown. Salinas falls victim. His butt hit the mat.
This is where the dance is available here that we know Ambler's good at. But he likes to pass the guard into a more advantageous position, which in turn opens up his ground and pound, which then promotes the submissions. He's got to get past the legs here in this instance, Chris. He's got to try and pass the guard.
Salinas trying to break posture. Ambler staying very strong. Leg entry here from Salinas.
Ooh, Salinas chasing the heel hook here. If he inverts through into the saddle, he could attack the heel hook and also the knee bar. Oh, nice ground and pound there from Ambler, punching his way out of the leg lock entry.
Ambler doing some damage there, defending the leg lock very nicely. Wow, what a round. Was that what Joe Ambler needed to win that round?
He's usually really good in that top position, but I like the way Salinas is throwing those legs up and trying to attack Ambler's legs to try and deter him from passing the guard and leaving the leg in the guard. So it's an interesting take there from Salinas. As we look back at the replay here, Chris, Ambler on the feet, utilizing the distance. There's the heavy punches we know Salinas for, and he uses that to change levels and initiate the clinch.
Take me through the replay, Harry.
Right, yeah, he closes the distance, and then Ambler straight back up. You can see him now with them low kicks. He's had a lot of success with that low kick, just going for calf. And you can see it must be affecting him, because then he's raising his leg out of the way. He goes high, right, big right hand, to be honest, and he took it like a champ. He closed distance, he used it to change level. Single leg, and then he just powers into the ground.
Almost cradling him, right?
Yeah. So he cradled him, he picked the leg up, and then he just pretty much just smothered him with his weight, pulling him to one side. And then as we saw Salinas going for that leg at the bottom, amateur, so he couldn't go for heel hook, but he could obviously use it to threaten and change his position. And I think we've said it before in this event, all to play for in the third and final.
I think so. I do think so. Third and final round here. It's the title fight between Ambler and Salinas. It's at middleweight. Salinas in the blue, Ambler in the red, tied up, 1919.
1919, I'd say, so still to play for.
Dino?
Yeah, I'd have to agree, definitely. I mean, I'm really impressed with Salinas' ability to stay patient on the outside and then initiate the clinch. I mean, it's interesting to see him roll for those leg locks as well in that bottom position. Precarious to do in MMA, given the headshots.
And Joe Ambler with a lot of pressure here. We did see a little bit of a strategy swap in that last round, pressing the grappling. Will he do it again? Yes, he will. Can he get the takedown? Yes, he can.
Fighting for this top position here now. He's going to try and clear that right leg of Salinas. He's going to try and block it and then maneuver around his left side to pass the guard.
Ambler with pressure from the top. Can he open up the pass?
He's doing a better job now of stepping over the leg. Now it's a case of vacating the right leg here. He can knee slice, he can TP up to the sky. He's got to control the head and the arm of his opponent though, and control the underhook there. So on the flip side of that, Salinas has got to look for this underhook and turn into his opponent.
Salinas thought about grapevining in. Can he do it? He's trying, working. Had pressure here from Ambler, inching higher and deeper into this position. The right strategy, Harry. I mean, we saw it in round 2. He did make that shift, pressing the takedown.
Well, he's already halfway through round number 3 and he's currently winning with that top pressure and like maintaining that position. If he can keep that and keep it on, then he might, well, there's a very good chance he's going to win fight.
He was fishing for the darce a moment ago, Dean. You could see him working that arm in.
Yeah, he's really efficient from this top position as well. He works here and promotes the ground and pound to look for the guard passes, fires the darce in as well. You know, he's an expert in this position. He's a good job, does a good job of riding this top position, using the strikes as well. This is where the darce is available.
Ambler again working with that overhook and almost baiting for the underhook, right, to go for it. But the punches, I love the mixing up of the submission advance and the punching.
Yeah, both open up each, you know, defending the submission opens up the punches, defending the punches opens up the submission. We've got to see an escape here from Salinas. He's going to try and vacate those grapevines here from Ambler, trap one arm, one leg, or utilize the hip escapes and chase the half guard. The whole time he's in mount, he's going to eat these shots if Ambler postures up, or his arms are in a jeopardy there from the submissions.
Ambler looking for a wrist ride here, can maybe potentially go for a key lock or a pillow V arm lock, as good old Eric Paulson would say.
He's riding quite high though with the grapevines here. He wants to keep the top position, it says to me. When he starts to maneuver up top now, this is when he can start to think about taking the back and looking for the rear naked choke. Oh, that's under the chin, Chris.
Oh, Ambler's got the choke on in the dying moments of this fight. Will he be able to force the submission finish? No. Saved by the bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we move to the judges' scorecards, they read 28-28, 29-27, and 29-28. Your winner and the new Cage Steel European Middleweight Champion. In the red corner, Joe Ambler.
Nice. Tail and tape for this title fight, sponsored by Continental Gold. It's an amateur European title at super lightweight, 74.8 kilograms. Aaron Kevinson the elder at 25. The 19-year-old uber prospect, Charlie Lynch Spence, looks to stay undefeated, height virtually identical, and it's an international. Gary Patterson will make this one official.
The following fight is sponsored by Continental Gold and is a bout of amateur MMA held in the super lightweight division. Fought over 3 3-minute rounds and is for the Cage Steel European super lightweight title. Introducing first into the blue corner, this fighter is 25 years of age, stands 6 feet tall. He hails from Reykjavik and fights out of RVK MMA with an even record of 3-3. In the blue corner, Aaron, Mr. Flash, Kevinson! And across the cage in the red corner, This fighter is 19 years of age, stands 6 feet tall, hails from Leeds and fights out of LMA and AVT. He has a perfect record of 5 straight wins. In the red corner, Charlie Lynch Spence.
And it all comes down to this. 3 3-minute rounds. Aaron Kevinson, Reykjavik MMA. Charlie Lynch Spence, AVT. Brought to you by Continental Gold. Lynch Spence, 5-0. Kevinson, 3-3, but has a lot of Muay Thai experience. Team, we saw head kick knockout KOs in Thailand from this guy.
Lynch Spence is going to look to control the distance here with the teeps. Master of distance management, he skips in and out of range beautifully, and he uses those long-range attacks to gauge the distance for the power shots.
Conversely, Kevinson fighting up now in weight. Actually makes his weight well. I mean, he's got a nice little reach with the legs as well, I believe, in stats. Not often a stat we see, but oh! Charlie Lynch Spence connecting. Kevinson seems stunned.
He's going to look for the takedown here or get a clinch to try and regain that composure. Took a heavy shot. Looks calm and composed, though. Not wobbly on his feet.
Kevinson shaking things off. Lynch Spence looks uber focused.
We've just mentioned how Kevinson is an absolute killer, come from Thailand, and it's definitely Charlie's biggest threat or biggest challenge in a fight. And 20 seconds in, he decides to throw a hook kick and nearly knocks him out. I think that just shows what sort of level that we're pitching with this guy. This kid's got the opportunity to go all the way. He's phenomenal. But to do so, currently he's got Kevinson standing in front of him.
Front leg side kick here from Charlie Lynch Spence. Kevinson backing off now. Trying to hand fight, eats into the left. That left hand has landed a couple of times from Charlie Lynch Spence team.
Oh! Oh!
Wow! Charlie Lynch Spence with the walkout knockout. Unreal. The sky is the limit for this kid.
Used a vast array of kicks to disguise those power shots. Out on the feet up against the cage and a backflip for good measure. What a way to secure the win here, Chris. We knew he had skills, we knew he had savage power, killer combinations, and we saw a perfect example of that up against the cage against Kevinson.
And a show of respect. Let's take a look at it here. He actually pumped the jab a couple of times and watch him step into the kick. Yep. Unreal. I mean, that's not a technique you ever see in MMA, landing clean like that from distance. Front leg hook kick.
He set it up nicely with that like leading right hand. He pushed him into that direction, so going to the right, and then he just popped it up. Like I say, usually you'd never see anybody actually knock anybody out clean with it. And then instantly afterwards, he's straight on him, following up with them shots.
And he was throwing those front leg techniques. He actually threw a front leg side kick a couple of times. He pumped the jab once or twice, though. Let's see if we get to see it. Kevinson was just caught completely cold multiple times. There we go. Ka-bang! Charlie Lynch Spence. The sky is the limit for this kid, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, the variety of attacks that he brings to the cage, and he utilizes his kicks. Look at that, straight on the chin. That was the second one. He threw it a couple of times and out on his feet up against the cage. Check it out from a different angle here. Whips the knee up. Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute and 29 seconds of round number 1, your winner by knockout, and the new Cage Steel European Super Lightweight Champion, Charlie Lynch Spence.
All right, Harry's ready, Dino's ready, I'm ready, and so is Gary Patterson momentarily. But before we throw it up to the cage, this is the tale of the tape. It's brought to you by RCD Electrical, and it's Cage Steel 30's professional European title at featherweight. 30 years of age for Sergio, 20 years of age for Oscar. Height advantage for Oscar. It's an international. Brazil taking on England. Let's throw it up to Gary Patterson, and he'll make this one happening.
The following fight is sponsored by RCD Electrical Yorkshire and is a professional bout of MMA held in the featherweight division. And it will be fought over 3 5-minute rounds and is for the Cage Steel European featherweight title. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening. So without further ado, for the thousands in attendance and for those watching around the world on pay-per-view, are you ready? It's showtime! Introducing first into the blue corner, this fighter is 30 years of age, stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He hails from Brazil and fights out of Game Fight. He has a professional record that includes 7 wins, 6 of which came inside the distance. In the blue corner, Sergio Jesus Bananera! And across the cage in the red corner, this fighter is 28 years of age, stands 6 feet tall, hails from Sheffield and fights out of AVT. He has a professional record of 5 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. In the right corner, Oscar Ginger Fury Ownsworth.
International title action here at Cage Steel. Andy Nichols, the 3rd man in the cage, giving the final instructions. Touch of gloves, uncertainty, a confession from both Sergio Jesus and Oscar Ownsworth as to the game plan. Three 5-minute rounds in prospects. Jesus in the blue, Ownsworth in the red.
Ownsworth twitching that rear leg to fake the teep here. He's known for his dangerous check left hook. He tries to catch his opponents where they're coming in. He couples that with his fight finishing right hand. And you've got a firework display waiting to happen.
Jesus sidestepping. Ownsworth controlling from center cage. Popping the jab there is Jesus.
Ownsworth is doing a good job of cutting off the angle here. He's not following his opponent, Jesus. He's cutting off the angle, looking for that entry for the strikes.
A tentative opening minute here. Ownsworth goes high with a roundhouse kick. Jesus steps in. Very wide guard from Jesus.
He's trying to keep his distance away here. If he wants to get close, he's got to punch his way in, but this is what he needs to do. Oh, there's a nice side clinch. Goes for the knee, just misses the chin of Oscar. Oh, it cut him. It glanced off the chin and grazed on the right-hand side of Oscar's face. He's got to cut just to the right side of the eyebrow.
Oscar Ownsworth showing the signs of early battle here as Sergio Jesus landing with that knee. It came from the clinch, no, Dean?
Yeah, the tie plum clinch. Just nice work from Jesus, close range. He's done a good job on this outside here. He doesn't want to engage in a gunfight with Oscar. I'd like to see Oscar start to hammer those legs to take that footwork away from Jesus.
Nice inside connection there from Jesus. A lot of early dancing from the outside. Some aversion to the risk, Harry?
Yeah, he's spending a lot of time on outside. It's good to see Oscar actually take his time and not rush in. That's obviously showing a lot of experience. He just needs to be very careful of that cut over his eye. You only need a few shots on that and it's going to be leaking, and it'd be a terrible way to end the fight.
Jesus, dirty boxing on the inside, reaches in for double unders. And as we said during the walkouts, it seems a lot of times, Dean, the opponent of Oscar Ownsworth tries to take him down. And Sergio, not so far.
Yeah, but he's careful. He understands to take somebody down, you have to get close. You have to get past that danger zone where the maximum power is from those strikes. That's why you see him, he's maneuvering on the outside and he's picking his way in and he's utilizing the, oh, look at that starting to leak now, as Harry alluded to. On the right side of the, oh, overhand right, beautiful, landed on the mark there from Jesus. He's picking these moments perfectly.
Inside low kick there from Ownsworth, and a counter overhand right lands for Jesus. Interesting opening round, a cagey opening round here for the first 3 minutes.
It's a tactical and methodical round. Oh, overhand right. Looked like that landed behind the ear. Sent Oscar wobbling momentarily, but Jesus really picking the correct game plan here. This is what he needs to pick his opportunity to swing.
Well, Jesus, the 17 professional MMA fight veteran, is looking for that home run shots. To be fair, not a lot of distance management punches or kicks from either fighter.
Well, the thing is, we've got to see from Oscar, he's got to be careful about coming in and leaving the hands down for the combinations. You know, Jesus has immense power, close range. So we've got to see Ownsworth with the long shots. I'd like to see more teeps from him and the inside and outside leg kicks. If we start to damage that leg as well, he's going to take this fancy footwork away from Jesus.
Switching up is Oscar Ownsworth. Lots of single strikes. Dirty boxing again from Sergio Jesus, switching up to the lead knee. Been an interesting fight where both fighters are kind of throwing simultaneously. No one really getting the edge in a lot of these. Obviously, the cut in favor of Sergio will maybe pay dividends later into the fight. 30 seconds remaining.
Jesus moving on the outside here. And again, he's not actively trying to target that cut. Like, he's not too overzealous. He's sticking to his game plan, and that's a credit to him. And again, that's a facet we see from some of the professional fighters. And in Oscar as well, the utilization of the game plan, not getting pulled into the bravado, not being pulled into a fight in a phone booth. We're seeing a tactical outside position here from Jesus.
Is Owensworth just having trouble tracking here?
I think that's what it is. I think he needs to start firing that jab or start going for that leg. He needs to start throwing kicks and actually using his reach advantage as an advantage.
Which is evident, right?
Yeah, at the minute, even though he's pushing his opponent across the fence, his opponent is well aware. Jesus is just staying on the outside and he's landing the better shots. He's whenever he's coming in, he's landing well, as you can see from the face of it's Oscar.
Now, Dean, taking a look at the replay here, talk me through it. Was there an element of frustration from either fighter?
But there's an immediate respect from Oscar, which is quite warranted through the 4-ounce gloves, and it changes when you get to pros. He understands that if Jesus touches him close range, he can go to sleep. You can see here that just missed behind the head, and it sent Oscar moving. That's just a testament to the power. So Oscar is respecting the power, but he's almost respecting it too much. He's got to set up the shots with the long-range kicks, teeps, the jabs, and fire combinations, but I think he's a little bit worried about the power at this point here from Jesus.
And it's that unpredictability, right? I mean, when a fighter says, I don't know what he's going to go out there and try to do, and the other guy says, I don't know what he's going to go out there and do, sometimes you get around like that, Harry.
Yeah, certainly, especially when this is a veteran of 17 professional fights from Brazil. Jerry, someone would probably have a good guess that he's pretty good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so he's not going to want to rush in and in case he gets taken to the deck. And obviously now he's got visual damage of what he can do if he stands on his feet.
Amen to that. Second of 3, 5-minute rounds. Will it be Oscar Owensworth or Sergio Jesus? Andy Nichols says, let's go. And the question on my mind has to be, is there an evolution of the strategy from either camp?
Well, there's more kicks already being thrown from Oscar. He went for the body, went for the leg, missed the mark on those instances. It's a close range knee to the body there from Jesus. He's going to start to pump this long jab here now. He can use long-range shots. He can evade capture from these close-range shots from Jesus.
He clipped him with the right.
Yeah, and if he hammers the leg as well, also teeps to the lead leg. Ah, there we go. That's exactly what he needs to do. Teep that lead leg is going to stop Jesus from channeling in. Oh, Jesus changes levels, chasing the single hit leg here up against the cage.
Yeah, he got hit with the right hand, and you talked about it, Dean, exactly that. Now, sometimes it's getting connected upon that forces a change in strategy, and he completes.
Yeah, excellent takedown, as Harry alluded to. He's good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's going to look to try and drag Oscar away from the cage. Oscar's got to get one hand on the canvas, spring up to his feet, and use the cage as a basal point to get back to his feet.
Oscar rebuilding his base. Sergio trying to control the back of his ankle. Now regrips, going above the waist. Can Oscar Owensworth get up? We've seen him time and time again in his career in these positions.
Yeah, he's like a cat, but usually it's when he's going down that he manages to spring back up. So it's that constant grinding that's going to be the problem. But Jesus straight back up. Needs to be careful at choke there.
Owensworth securing a choke.
Like, he's fired the dast up there. He can finish it from the top position. He can also finish it off of his back, but he might use it to try and walk round. It's like he might switch to the Anaconda. Switch. Oh, beautiful work. The sweat there from Jesus.
Wow, Sergio Jesus finds a way. Escapology on tap there. Now reefing for a front choke of his own. What's he got here, Dean?
He's looking for the, there's the knees here. That's what he's going to do, go to the head. He's potentially looking for the guillotine, but again, his experience, he didn't want to jump guard and end up in the bottom position.
So a double threat from Sergio Jesus. Ownsworth looking for the plum, throws up a knee, doesn't get it. Jesus, I think, was absolutely rocked with that right hand. It was a really good, clean, straight right. Probably the best punch of the round for Oscar Ownsworth.
Yeah, you just saw then Jesus just throwing those big hooks. You could see that he's visually starting to get tired. And it's whether now he can keep his footwork going and evade those shots of Oscar.
Nice counter. Beautiful counter there from Oscar Ownsworth going Uchimata, controlling with the whizzer. And then look at this, Sergio Jesus responds.
The double underhooks was the key there. From that Uchimata counter, he had an overhook, but Jesus had the double underhooks. Again, he finds his position in this front headlock. Might look to fire the knee up here. And in these positions, I like to see Oscar fire the slicing elbows. He's got great elbows close range.
Well, Jesus did think about the chin strap. And as you alluded to previously, did not commit to a choke from that position. Oscar Ownsworth charging forward, lunging into an elbow. A resilient Sergio Jesus. This has been a tricky round to score. Uppercut there from Oscar Ownsworth. Jesus wilting under some of this pressure here.
It could come down to Oscar really starting to pressure Jesus and sap the gas tank, and that in turn is going to open up avenues for him to fire the punches and kicks that we know him for. He's digging to the body, which says to me he wants to try and sap the cardio away from Jesus here.
Lead uppercut there from Oscar Ownsworth. Overhand right. Jesus trying to hand fight. Hands are down for Sergio Jesus. He looks tired.
Yeah, this is going to take advantage of this. This is when he starts to open up his striking capabilities, going to the body, going to the head, swinging there, but Jesus has still got that dangerous power close range, so Oscar's going to keep those hands up in these exchanges.
Ownsworth trying to be methodical and dissect the situation. Sergio Jesus again covers. Beautiful read there from Oscar Ownsworth, and he gets the takedown.
Yeah, he timed it perfectly. He got hit with that big right hand earlier on. He seemed to get more of a rhythm, and he was landing more shots of his own. Them teeps seem to be working really well. Let's say taking a bit of gas tank away from Jesus, and now he's managed to get that top position. So if it was a bit odd on the scores, that takedown now might start trying to push it away back into his corner.
Oscar might look to keep this one on the feet here. He's got some great ground and pound, but I'd imagine he probably wants to stay away from the submission game of Jesus. He might look to hammer the legs just to do a little bit of damage. Wait for this one to get back to the feet. Gotta be careful of the up kicks here.
Oscar Ownsworth looking to clear the legs, connect with some ground and pound. His corner is going absolutely bananas there. Wow, what a round. What a round, a frenetic pace, a fight that's really changed rhythms in several different ways. Dean, I'm going to throw it out there. How do you have it so far?
It's an interesting one in precarious positions, as we spoke about. Do you score the dangerousness and the pressure of Jesus in the beginning rounds? Almost certainly, but we're seeing a switch here. We're seeing Jesus a little bit more laboured in his approach and more pressure now from Oscar. And he's starting to get his combinations up. He's starting to feel more comfortable now. And he's kind of found the rhythm to elude those counter shots from Jesus.
Especially with that cut in the first round. So potentially tied up, Harry?
Yeah, I agree. I think Oscar's now starting to run away with it now that he's got his rhythm and he's landing more shots. Jesus just seems to, you look at him now, his corner's got him, he's sat on the chair. He doesn't look very happy, does he? He's not in a good place right now. He's obviously feeling the burn. It was very fast and agile on his feet to start round one. At the end of that, he wasn't. He was flat-footed, he was getting hit, and he was more of a target.
Now, Dean, looking at it, it seemed that from those highlights, Ownsworth was just able to slowly, methodically break things down, avoid the dangerous positions. Is that kind of the key here? Do you just try to ride this thing out, knowing how tricky this guy can be in front of you?
Oscar's got to wear on him, make him wear all that pressure up against the cage in that top position on the ground.
All right. Third and final round here at Cage Steel 30. It is the international title. In the lightweight division at 70 kilograms, Sergio Jesus, blue corner. Oscar Ownsworth, red corner. And unofficially here, cage side, we've got it tied up.
See, Jesus is still dangerous in these exchanges. That's why I'm leaning more towards Oscar. If he can get this fight up against the cage and wear on him, try to sap the cardio, that's going to open up the striking later on in the round for Oscar. Oh.
Lead hook attempt there from Sergio Jesus.
Oscar's looking for those long shots here. That's the danger when he comes in to connect and he misses and eats one of those overhand shots.
Ownsworth continuing to adapt to the situation. Picking his shots, carefully moving forward, controlling things. Nice right hand lands again against Sergio Jesus. It's just making all of the correct micro decisions, right, Tina, in these exchanges.
Yeah, he's got to be precise and he's got to be tactical. He's got to be technical as well. Long shots, keep the opponent at the end of the shots. Even the body shots, nice and long, be ready to move. Keep the head off that center line, not drop the hands close range.
And the eyes give very few tells. I mean, if you look even Sergio, I mean, he doesn't really give too much away now that it's Oscar. That's the maturity you get from fighters who are experienced at this level, no?
Yeah, from the pro ranks as well, sticking to the game plan. And Oscar's staying patient as well. He's not chasing after these punches. He's keeping his range, firing the leg kicks. Listening to his coach as well, which is an important facet and an important skill set to be able to allude to in a fight.
Now, do you ride this thing out, Harry, if you're Oscar?
If I were Oscar, what I think he should do and what I'd like him to do are completely different, unfortunately. I'd like him to go insane and start throwing and follow some of these shots up. He seems to land a shot and then step back and let him have another breath. I want him to run in and actually start firing, maybe come in with a knee, close the distance, but I don't think he will. I think he'll stay on the outside and play it smart.
Too much respect?
Yeah, I think it's what you can see. As Dean previously said, Jesus has got so much killing potential with those big hands. If you miss or he ain't got his hand in the right place and he doesn't guard coming out, one of those big hooks is going to knock him out.
Well, the high-stakes shootout that has evolved into Sergio Jesus taking on Oscar Ownsworth is entering the final 2 minutes of this round. Ownsworth just being very steady, continuing to work the problem. Jesus is just backing off continually up against the fence, Dean. I mean, it's right now, I think, been a very smart fight from Oscar Ownsworth.
Yeah, you keep the pressure on as well. I'd like to see him wear him down a little bit more, even with the body shots if he wants to strike, to sap the cardio. That's the key for Oscar, to really draw the cardio away from Jesus, force him to make mistakes, and then capitalize with the combinations.
And, of course, remove the threat of the power, right? I mean, you can't quite take the technique away from him, but you can certainly get him tired and fatigued to the point where it's less of a danger, right?
Yeah, the long-range shots are going to do that for him. Yeah, the teeps to the body, the jabs, the long 1-2s. There, the long, straight right hand, beautiful work.
Well, Oscar Ownsworth continues to do the dance here at Cage Steel 30. Will it be enough to win this international title?
Back foot here for Jesus. A labored approach. He's almost like sitting onto the cage, but whereas before he was using lateral movement to vacate and then reset, he's kind of taking a rest here. And this is the time for Oscar to start to charge forward and land some more decisive shots.
Under a minute left. Ownsworth just landing a right roundhouse kick. Head movement to a right hand for Ownsworth. A lot of punches coming up short from Ownsworth at times, and again, it's trying to open up the defense of Sergio, but the respect is there, correct, for the counter.
Yeah, Ownsworth doesn't want to fully commit and then miss the shot and get caught with those close range punches. You can see here he's firing that right hand, but even after he starts to retract the hand, there's the level change from Jesus. There's a scramble for the top position. Again, he's looking to secure the anaconda, it looks like. Jesus getting back to the feet, fighting the wrist, separation.
Ownsworth pumping that arm deep, potentially looking for a choke, couldn't get it. Nice scramble, though, to end up on top. Seconds left in this fight. Oscar Ownsworth, Sergio Jesus. It has been a tactical and strategic affair.
See Oscar, interestingly, calling on Jesus. It looks like he's trying to set up the high kick. He wants Jesus to come forward and walk onto that shot, but...
After 3 rounds of championship action, we go to the judges' scorecards, and they read 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. And your winner, and the new Cage Steel European Featherweight Champion, in the right corner, Oscar Ginger Fury Ownsworth.
Like I say, it's still a fantastic, well-matched fight for this one.
Our tail of the tape brought to you by Prospect House Farm. Amateur lightweight at 70.3 kilos in the lightweight division, of course. Even in age, even in heights, different gyms. Kane Morrow versus Luke Carlson, and Gary Patterson will make this one happen.
The following fight is an amateur bout of MMA held in the lightweight division, fought over 3 3-minute rounds, and is sponsored by Prospect House Farm. Introducing first into the blue corner, this fighter is 26 years of age, stands 6 feet tall. He hails from York and fights out of Carlson Gracie. He has a record of 1 win, 1 loss. In the blue corner, Kane the Chef Morrow. And across the cage, in the red corner, this fighter is 26 years of age. He too stands at 6 feet tall. Hailing from Doncaster, he fights out of Daddy Cool and has a record of 1 win, 3 losses. In the red corner, Luke Carlson.
Luke Carlson, Kane Morrow. In the lightweight division, 3 3-minute rounds. Lee Fallon in charge. And both fighters have promised a blistering performance. One for the highlight reels, according to Kane Morrow. Let's find out. Round 1.
Touch of gloves here. Morrow working on the outside. He uses his legs to kick on the inside to gauge the distance here. Of course, that power left hand opens him up from that southpaw stance.
Morrow going 2-3-2, switching up to the body. Hand fighting here from Morrow. Oh, nice, very nice. Connects there with a left hook. Connects again. Kane Morrow thudding in the end.
Garrison's in trouble here. Wise decision to clinch. Got to pummel for the underhooks and get this one down to the ground. Looks like he's using this position here to recover. Gets turned. Outside position now for Morrow.
Morrow dropping here below the waist. Can he get a takedown? Flares the legs. Yes, he can.
He's got to address the head, though. Got to try and fight the hand and pass the opposite side of the choking arm to avoid that guillotine.
Trying to clear the knee here. A complete performance so far from Kane Morrow. We saw this as only another stepping stone to greatness and a career change, I might add.
Carlson needs to retain full guard here to finish this guillotine, otherwise he risks giving up that top position and potentially burning out that left arm as well by holding onto the neck.
Well, Carlson's a blue belt. He's no mug here. Harry?
Wait, at first I was going to say that we're going to slip out, but it looks quite tight. I don't know if it's because it's certainly around and they're not sweaty, but he doesn't seem to be able to just slip his head out like that. But now it means that Morrow's take the top position and he's got his back against the fence as well, so he's got nowhere to escape from those blows.
Nice frame here from Morrow. Can he clear the knees and sit down maybe, or will he stay postured? Reshot attempt here from Carlson.
Guillotine though, he's setting up this guillotine here, Harry.
Yeah, he's left his neck out and he's got his back against the fence. He's in real trouble now.
Standing guillotine attempt here from Kane Morrow. Can he convert to the finish? Under a minute on the clock.
Oh, this looks close to being finished.
I can't see him getting out.
Well, now he's retracted the arms. He did a good job of fighting the hands. He can work for the takedown, but he's got to try and avoid the same side as the choking arm. So he wants to go off to the left side of Morrow if he gets the takedown. Of course, the underhooks are his friend in this position. Oh, it's a heavy right hand. And, oh, it's a low blow.
Was there a knee on the inside? It looks like there was, and there was obviously a connection with the hand as well. The hand landed too, no?
Yeah, it looked like the knee and then the right hand straight after. Good spot by the referee.
Excellent refereeing there from Mr. Lee Fallon. Now, interesting, you know, Harry, we talked about in the pre-fight build-up. Kane comes from Carlson Gracie, but that ain't no ordinary grappling club.
Yeah, Carlson Gracie, they've obviously got a high-level grappling. Actually, Danny Mitchell, former UFC veteran, he trains, does seminars and what over there. But you can see as well, they've got some outstanding stand-up.
Yep. Owens fought MMA as well, right?
Yep. But you see, he's coming out now with his... Well, he's just come out pretty dominant in everything. On the statistics before the fight, they look quite even, but now they're actually stood toe-to-toe. He seems to be getting quite a lot of an advantage with the striking, and then on the ground, he looks a lot more powerful as well. He's a dominant fighter throughout.
Carlson shaking things off. All looks okay to continue. A warning there from Lee Fallon. Touch of gloves, back to it.
Oh, looking for the deep here to gauge the distance. And that straight left hand down the pipe. Got to see Carlson look to circle to the outside of the lead leg. So in this case, to his right side to avoid that power left hand.
Oh! Huge right hand lands there for Kane Morrow. Lee Fallon steps in. That's the end of the fight. A vicious knockout with seconds left on the clock from Kane Morrow.
Yeah, with that power difference that managed to do it.
Dean, that was blitzkrieg.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 2 minutes and 48 seconds of round number 1, your winner by knockout in the blue corner, Kane the Chef Morrow.
Again, what a fantastic opportunity it is for him to fight an international opponent from such a reputable gym. I think people like overlook amateurs, where we said previously they're like getting closer and closer to pro. What a fantastic opportunity for him to further his skill set.
All right, tail of the tape. This one brought to you by Fast Labels. Amateur featherweight action at 66 kilograms. 2 18-year-olds. It's the final fight here at Cage Steel 30. Height advantage for Jack Stevenson. It's an international Reykjavik MMA taking on S18 MMA. The referee, Andrew Nichols. Round 1 of a scheduled 3.
This will be a crazy one here. You see Stevenson press forward, and he was saying probably assessing this fight, he would never quit. He would not quit in this fight. He's pushing forward here, looking for the knee close range. Oh, it looks like it went a little bit low.
Håkan Arnarson noticeably bothered by that shot. South of the border. Jack Stevenson claimed, it seemed, that he was going to stand in this fight. Loves the K1, but got to watch out for the knees, eh?
Yeah, close range. That's one of the ways to nullify the close range striking games, coupled with the uppercuts. Got to make sure that he doesn't go low. Could try to avoid taking a point away there. So he's got to make sure those knees go cleanly to the midsection.
And Andy Nichols giving verbal instructions there. Big punches to kicks for Jack Stevenson. Håkan Arnarson looking to try to clinch here and close that thing down. Close in, try to get the grappling going.
The blood hooks here, looks like, for Håkan. He can connect the hands. They're difficult with the cage behind his opponent there. Sometimes cheese grates the knuckles and makes it a little bit difficult to clasp the hands together. Difficult to see if he has the clinch here behind. But when he gets that head pressure, he can start to look to utilize the outside trips up against the cage.
Håkan Arnarson with some good head pressure here. Stevenson trying to fight with the grips. Harry, what do you make of this?
I think Stevenson came out quite erratic, and you could see there were a lot of tension, and he was everywhere. And I think this is what Arnarson needed to do to try and calm him down a bit. He's managed to keep it in one position now. He's slowed it down. He's reduced the risk, and now he can start implementing his own game plan.
Kind of bump with the shoulders. Maybe clear under for a duck under. Nice whizzer here, countered by Jack Stevenson.
The key here for Stevenson to the separation, that whizzer and the underhooks.
Pumping jab here from Jack Stevenson. Rear push kick upstairs. Head kick there from Stevenson. Stevenson on fire here with combinations. I mean, he's throwing everything but the kitchen sink with every single strike.
That's what he's going to do. He's got to pull the trigger to slow the pace down of his opponent in Håkan. Håkan drives forward, likes to clinch, likes to use the cage. You know, if Stevenson gets off first, he's going to deter Håkan from coming in. Oh, straight to the body.
Håkan with the head movement there. You could see him trying to dip in and out. This could very well evolve into a grappling versus striking affair, Harry.
Yeah, we see Stevenson's quite fired up, trying to just keep on pumping. I don't know if that's because he is an amateur and he's quite new to this, and there's a lot of preparation and a lot of anxiety behind this. So he's come out. If this goes into the next few rounds, it's going to be how he can actually keep that pressure and keep that speed.
There's an element of head games too, right? You're going out and you're fighting a guy at 19, 18, excuse me.
Yeah, I think it's the ring craft and things that he needs to work on.
Punches here landing from Håkan Arnarson. Defense cannot go out the window for Jack Stevenson.
Håkan got to look for the unhooks in this position. He's doing a great job of utilizing the head underneath his opponent to elongate him up against the cage. But the key is here for him to utilize the takedowns. Is another low blow. Some bad sportsmanship there. You know, it's frustrating, but he's got to keep his wits about him here.
Andy Nichols obviously giving a word of understanding for the situation. Not sure if we're going to see a point taken. I mean, I understand when you're in the clinch and you're working from feel and memory and technique. You know, you're not necessarily seeing and exactly visually lining up the shots, right? So those knees can go off sides if you're trying to tap to the inside of the leg. There we go, though. I mean, that left knee was on the bullseye. Action resumes, the end of a round. Dean, your thoughts?
I love the style of Stevenson. He's aggressive, he comes forward, he chases after the win. But as Harry said, how long can he keep this up? At a young age, usually we see a better cardiovascular system, and he's obviously come in shape. But the key is here now, can he keep that tenacious pace up? And more importantly, he's got to be clean with those lower body strikes.
And taking a look at it, Jack Stevenson was so aggressive on the feet, as you alluded to, Dean, just punching very long, throwing so much power, even to the jab. Without a doubt, though, Håkan Arnarson was in this fight. He found a way to get inside, he found a way to move his head off the center line, and even frustrate Jack Stevenson on several occasions. Now, Harry, do you like the styles that you're seeing from both fighters here? What's your reflections?
I find Stevenson a bit wild, a bit uncontrolled. I feel a bit uncomfortable about that. You never know how that's going to... He could land an awesome shot, or alternatively, his arms roll over. He's not defensively strong. If I were his corner, you need to tighten it up. You need to tighten it up, and you need to use your energy better.
Sage advice from Harry Strutt.
But whether a 19-year-old's going to take that on on his second fight in front of 1,000 people fighting an international fighter, probably not.
18.
Oh, you're 18, yeah. He's going to come out and throw more of the same, I expect.
All right, 2 or 3.
Håkan's got to do more of the same here. He's going in and out of range very nicely, but says to me he wants to try and avoid the flurries of Stevenson. He's looking for that level change in the clinch. There it is. Double unhooks here now for Håkan. Going to use the cage. Watch for him to drop down and start to attack the legs here in this position. Good look to take the back as well.
Håkan trying to sweep out the back leg. Takedown defense again from Jack Stevenson in a familiar position from round 1.
Håkan again looking to evade capture and take the back here. Nice work from Stevenson to separate, and immediately goes to punching in the dead space.
Nice low kick lands for Håkan Arnarson. Stevenson, left kick, loading up on the right cross. The kind of power and accuracy from Stevenson is impressive.
Yeah, again, through these amateur gloves, which have more padding, he's still transferring this power. Beautiful knee there. That one was clean to the midsection of Håkan. Håkan's going to drop down for a single now.
Potential Kimura trap counter from Stevenson. Read by Håkan. The grips look good from Håkan, but you know what? He's found himself, Harry, like 3-4 times in this position and has struggled to take Stevenson down. Yeah,
it looks as if when he was in front of us, they were trying to sneak around and take his back, but he kind of got there, but then he just spun out. But it's like, is he going to use it to try and take him down and slip down foot legs like we discussed, or is he going to try and take his back and jump?
Which also begs the question, how many times can you go to the well?
Yeah, exactly. You never know. Maybe,
how thirsty are you, right?
Yeah, maybe number 5 will do it.
All right. Just over a minute left here in 2 of 3. Stevenson has been forced to deal with the takedown attempts of Arnarson, but again, I feel like Stevenson has the edge in space. If he can get his back off the fence, that might be one to the good.
Yeah, Arnarson as well, he's doing a good job of getting the double underhooks. And he's going to the back, which in turn allows Stevenson to turn into him. Once he gets those underhooks, I like to see him, we say crotch to pocket. You want to pull your crotch into your opponent and start to lift him. That's where I think he's going to have some success. Going off to the side of where the pocket would be on Stevenson. In this instance here, if he can circle around to the left side, get his crotch to the right side pocket of Stevenson and lift him, he can start to think about those takedowns here.
Hawkinson trying, fishing, hunting for this takedown.
This is where it is, look. If he can fire his hips in towards the pocket of his opponent, Hakon's got to try and get this lift.
Nice short connection here from Stevenson. Short left hook. Hawkinson backs off. Excuse me, Håkan Arnarson backs off.
Oh, question mark kick on the money there from Anderson.
Anderson going for the Brazilian at the bell. What a round, what a round. I gotta say, this has been a competitive fight between two 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised it's competitive, but I'm impressed with the pace, the technique, the decision-making, the resilience that we're seeing from both.
Yeah, the technique. Stevenson has maintained that pressure, or has maintained his aggression throughout. How the judges are going to actually take this, I don't know. It looks as if we've had the better or the more aggressive striking from Stevenson, but then we've just seen probably a minute and a half of cage control, do you know what I mean, by Arnarson. How are they going to judge it? And it's not as if he's not been striking as well. He seems the more crisp striker, but he hasn't really landed too much good shots on him that's been visibly damaging. Question mark kick.
At least in that round, right?
Yeah, at least in that round.
Yeah. Maybe round one a little bit easier to decide. But look, we only go to aggression and control if you can't decide in the effective striking and grappling department. So that will be one potentially to be addressed if we go the next 3 minutes in full. Well, listen, it's the last fight of the night here at Cage Steel 30. Chris, Dean, Harry with you on the call. Andy Nichols says, let's go. And potentially these next 3 minutes to decide the winner between Håkan Arnarson and Jack Stevenson.
Stevenson pointed to the ground there. He wanted to stand and bang. And Håkan nodded. And they're going at it here, close range. Håkan looking again for the double underhooks. This is where the lift is. He's going to come around to the side of where the pocket would be on the shorts of Stevenson.
Is the height an issue here?
Well, for the lift, no. You got to get nice and low and crotch to pocket and look for the lift. He's not having success taking the back here. You know, Stevenson defends really well, and also the cage is Stevenson's friend for the back take here from Håkan. You see Håkan trying to circle around Stevenson, immediately looks to pummel for the underhook. It's where Håkan needs to be a bit more versatile in his takedown attempts.
And I mean the height of the grips, right? He's not quite getting low enough on Stevenson to get that bump that you're talking about?
Yeah, he's going to go low on the belt line, yeah. You want basically get your head and your hips lower than your opponents to obtain the takedown. So yeah, Håkan needs to drive those hands with the double underhooks and the clinch, the hands together along the belt line of Stevenson.
Now he does have his hands in the double under position. Well, he did a moment ago. But unable to get past first base seems to be the challenge.
It's also as well, Stevenson's doing so many things right. It's not necessarily Håkan's doing everything wrong. Stevenson's really good at takedown defense. And even here, look, he's able to sink his butt into the cage, stay on his feet. He doesn't have a whizzer, doesn't have an unhook, but he's not getting taken down.
Well, Team Iceland, who have flown over to support their team from Reykjavik MMA, are at a fever pitch cage side here in Doncaster.
Oh, heavy head kick there from Stevenson. Håkan looking to close the distance again. Double underhooks, but he's got to keep busy up against the cage. The referee separated him in the last instance in this position. And it's a mirror image. Half a underhook here for Stevenson. Doesn't need the whizzer. Just sits himself down and defends the takedown.
Again.
Oh. Now it's a clear back control. Sorry, Chris. You can see here Håkan now has had a more affordance to take the back and see what he does with it.
I was going to say, again, that fight has played out. And it's a thing where you have to ask, doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of something, right, Harry? I don't know what they call that.
Yeah.
Insanity?
Yes, maybe.
Foolishness?
Either way, it's not working, is it?
No.
It's the definition of a plan that's not successful.
Oh, head kick. Barrage of punches from Stevenson. Hackett responds with a body kick.
Stevenson looking to light the fuse here with heavy, heavy thunder. The power in this kid is unreal.
Clear double underhooks now for Hackett. Presses up against the cage.
Håkan Arnarson getting double unders, but unfruitful.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we move to the judges' scorecard, they read as follows. 29-28, 29-28, 30-27 in favour of your winner. In the blue corner, Håkan Arnarson.
Håkan Arnarson has done it.